the morning, having had no sleep whatsoever, and probably not getting any for the next 24 hours.
Messages, who also went on to say, Kiwi seem to be going a bit Australian in their Mitchellness.
They do. Well, now this is unheralded and unforeseen. It's the two currents opening the bowling together.
Current squared.
It is. It is. And here he comes. He's in. He bowls to Munro. Flicks that quite nicely. Good timing. Straight to Owen Morgan at mid-wicket. And there is no run. It's a shame I had to talk over that jingle because I do love that. Can we play that again?
Yeah, we can.
I love that jingle.
The most intellectual talker, who's intellectual talks brings into OTC.
Now, you know, actually, if you're in London by any chance, the London Jazz Festival is starting on the 15th of November, and that's just, I think they should employ them. That's just great jazz, isn't it?
It is.
It's wonderful. 4 for no wicket, Curran, Tom, coming into the left-handed Colin Munro over the wicket. He's in, he's down the wicket. He tries to lift that over mid-on, but makes very scant contact with that. Indeed, it probably came off an edge, and a bit of pad ran towards Billings behind the stumps, and there is no run. Oh, it's beautiful, Hagley Oval. I want to go there.
Yeah, glorious grass banks. It is one of New Zealand's great boutique grounds. The mountains in the background as well.
The Hagley Oval, the wonderful Botanic Gardens.
Yeah, the Hagley Oval hosting its first ever T20 international.
Oh, it's a magnificent sight. In comes Tom Curran again into Munro. Flicks this away, but there is Adil Rashid on the 45. He's on the 40-45. Yeah, there he is. What a wonderful man he is. And there is no run.
Yes, now that his shoulder's been reattached.
Indeed. Yeah, it was hanging by a thread, basically. He's been doing some good work, hasn't he, in Kashmir recently? Rashid, he's been out there working with charities, and that is wonderful to hear. Anyway, here comes Tom Curran again into Colin Munro. Very wide open stance, and he plays a good length ball. Really not much that he could do with it apart from steer it to extra cover, and there is no run.
Yeah, it's a very unusually cautious, well, not cautious exactly, but unexplosive start from Gupton Munro, who are both players who are very, very dangerous in the power play, especially Munro. Hit the ball very cleanly down the ground and sort of pick up shots over the leg side, especially Munro.
And I think you were there for that wonderful one-day innings, weren't you?
Guptill's double ton, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of a change to the field. I think Deep Pointer's gone back. I can't quite see where the other deep fielder is.
In comes Curran again. 4 dot balls in the closet, and again he's going to get a fifth as Munro advanced down the wicket. The ball was pitched outside leg stump. He was trying to whip it away, but again failed to make contact. It ran off his pad, and there is no run. So this is an excellent start from Tom Curran, and New Zealand are facing a maiden.
Yeah, so the field, you've got a man back at short third man, a backward point, deep point, extra cover, mid off, mid on, a man back at deep square leg, and I think a short man on the 45.
Curran looking for this. Well, he's gone for an appeal. That's a crazy appeal. I admire his optimism, but it was so far outside leg stump. I mean, the important thing is that Munro didn't get a run from it. It's a maiden from Tom Curran. Excellent work from him. After 2 overs, New Zealand are 4 without loss.
That Richard Hadley. That was a crazy appeal.
He's crafty and deceitful, and he'll try to LBW and bowl a maiden over.
By the way, if you may be used to the fact that we tend to do wicket updates and score updates during the game on Twitter. Unfortunately, the laptop I used to do that is currently being plugged into the TV, so we can actually watch. So there won't be any, I'm afraid.
Well, there you go. Well, you just have to listen to us, won't you?
They'll muddle on somehow. 5
on the single outside off stump. Guptill's giving himself a little bit of room, but it's a ball that keeps angling into him, really, from Sam Curran. There's not a lot he can do. A very good length from the young Surrey bowler, and there is no
7
run
dot
again.
balls in a row for New Zealand.
Excellent stuff from England, this.
Jay Grover's with us.
Hey!
Says, hope you all had a cracking Halloween, as thou art all godless heathens. There's no point wishing you an All Hallows Eve.
No, we are godless heathens, generally speaking. In comes Curran, bowls, and he tries to pull this one, but then again, Rashid tumbling to his right, making sure that he gets the whole body behind that. It wasn't clearly picked up, but he did a good job there. Guptill has hurried through for the single. New Zealand moved to 5 without loss.
Andrew says, morning, gents.
Morning.
How are these 2 test matches not part of the Test Championship? Oh, hang on, we got some T20s first. Did they not get a sponsor?
Your guess is as good as ours, I'm afraid. The stated logic makes little sense.
No, it's very strange, isn't it?
We had that conversation, didn't we, at some length?
Yeah.
Lou Britt in Sacramento says, hello, good evening. I'm Bollocks from Sacramento, California.
Hello! In comes Curran, bowls to the left-handed Munro. Munro, a kind of checked drive, but again, not finding the gap in the offside. And it's we did have a single, didn't we? But England keeping the wraps on this very well indeed. New Zealand 5 without loss from, 15 balls, to be fair.
Yes.
I suppose we should talk, with the 100 coming in, we should talk about this in terms of balls, shouldn't we, really, rather than overs. In comes Curran. He's down the wicket, Munro. Again, doesn't connect with that particularly well, but he does get it through the vacant mid-on area. There's Chris Jordan out at long-on doing the fielding, and they take one more.
Yeah, 10 dot balls of the 16 bowled so far today.
Well, you'd take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no more than 1 run scored off any particular delivery.
No, indeed.
Adam Katie, or Katie.
Oh, it's Etchiak. It's Etchiak.
Yes, says, morning, Gorillas. Hendo seems remarkably chipper.
Well,
how long until the first doomed of the winter?
That will be the beer. I haven't drunk for about 8 weeks, and tonight I did. Anyway, in comes Curran, bowls. Oh, he tried to pull that Guptill, maybe didn't get up as much as he thought. It's taken out the off stump, and Sam Curran has his first wicket in T20 international cricket, and New Zealand are 6 for 1.
Dragged it on.
Did indeed.
Tell you, Martin Guptill shaves off his beard, 2 off 7.
I shaved off my beard, and I haven't had a bat in my hand, so I suppose that doesn't really count, does it?
No.
It cost me £6. Is that too much to pay for a shave?
No.
£6?
No, I don't think so.
That seems reasonable.
Right.
Doesn't it? Anyway, so New Zealand have lost their first wicket. They are 6.
My wonderful Lorraine, who's my hairdresser.
Oh, your wonderful Lorraine.
She gets it. She sort of throws in the beard trimming as.
Does she do that thing where she
the package
gives you a sort of a wash and she sort of just strokes your head? Because if so, I want to go to Lorraine.
You would. She's very. It's a pleasurable experience.
In Claygate?
That's all I can tell you. Yes, in Claygate.
I'm going there.
Gary Naylor says, "Who's that weirdo?"
Gary Naylor.
Gary. Pirate Badshaw, docked in Dublin, says, "Morning, old salts." Ha 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 ha. I added the ha 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 ha. That was.
Well, I like the ha ha. To be honest, it was very good indeed.
And at number 3 for New Zealand, their wicketkeeper.
Ooh.
This
is Tim Seifert.
Have we got a jingle?
Hello.
You don't know me. You don't know Kiwi.
Lovely jingle that is. Onto the back foot he goes, and he plays that really nicely, but out to the edge of the field where it is indeed fielded, and he gets a single. But it was a nice shot, and New Zealand moved to 7 for 1, and that is the end of the third over. Any more tweets?
Plenty. Adam Kate says, definite T-shirt opportunity there. He was replying to Gary in his "Who's That Weirdo?" So yes, we can see that as a T-shirt. Mayank. Oh no, hang on, I'm jumping.
Mayank.
Mayank.
We haven't heard from him for a while.
I've just got ahead of myself.
Which sporting event are you watching in the world?
Imagine says, a satellite. What did you do? Win the lottery or have your Patreon numbers exploded?
Well,
if we had our own satellite, we would.
Now that's an idea.
Telstar.
Can we crowdfund for our own satellite? Send it up there.
We have some people with us on Crick Tracker.
Hooray!
Hurrah!
Hello.
I did have Crick Tracker.
Prashant Thakur, Saifur Rahman and Nadeem Mahmood both asking for a review of Shakib's ban. It's very sad news, but really he has only himself to blame.
Oh, it's so sad, so sad. Tom Corrin starts the new over on to Tim Seifert outside the off stump. He aims at a drive but makes no contact through. It goes to... What the heck has Sam Billings got on?
He's got a microphone.
He's got a microphone, which is like...
It's either that
like
or the most extraordinary piece of chest hair shaving that you've ever seen in your entire life.
That is bizarre.
You quite often get fielders mic'd up in T20s to talk to the commentators, not normally the wicket-keeper.
No, and I don't... And I've never seen a microphone like that on a cricketer. And it's, quite frankly, it's not one I want to see again. Curran bowls, onto the back foot goes Seifert, forces up to mid-off and runs through the single. Brilliant throw from Chris Jordan. He just rather sort of lazily just like, I'll just throw that if I have to, and takes out the leg stump.
Such a good fielder.
What a man he is. 8 for 1.
Matthew Borry is with us on Cricket Tracker. He says, hi, Narendra Singh Lohia is with us, Satyanarayan is with us, and a few more as well. Welcome, welcome. Please tell your friends and share the link on Cricket Tracker. He in fact, he's wearing a microphone fluffer, which those of you who've been watching the show for a while may be familiar with.
Indeed.
Oh, it is for high winds. It is windy in certain parts of New Zealand.
If anyone's able to talk about high wind authoritatively, it would definitely be the bear.
Yeah, very, very much so. In comes Tom Curran to bowl to Munro. Down the leg side, he tries to whip this away. I thought maybe he got a little bit of glove on that, but no. Spilled by Billings as he dived away to his right. It's given as a wide. Wow. I'm so... you know... I've missed these. I've missed this, and I've missed you all. I'm just absolutely loving being back here at Gorilla Towers.
It's wonderful just to sit down and talk cricket with our adoring public.
Indeed, indeed, it is. It's a beautiful thing. In comes Curran again to bowl to Munro. He's whipped this one away. He's picked it up, and he's picked it up well. I thought for a moment that he might have put that down the throat of the man at deep backward square, but he's got it square of him, in front of him, and it's gone all the way for one of these, the first one.
It's me, and she. It's me, and she.
Yeah, attempted to slow a ball into the pitch, but Munro loves that pick-up shot over the leg side. It was right in his arc. Basically played a sweep shot off a seam bowler there. And, yes, off the third legitimate ball of the third over, the first boundary.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting what England are seeming trying to do against Munro. He's trying to keep it into his legs. This one is actually outside the off stump, not by much. Munro swiped at it, and I think he was beaten because it was... Again, another slower ball.
It was.
And it's rather grubbed through to the man behind the stump, Sam Billings.
It's a knuckleball, I think, from Tom.
No,
back of the hand, slower ball. Very well disguised indeed.
Well, to bowl those at pace is an extraordinarily hard skill. We've seen the likes of Jade Dernbach bowl it pretty well. And more players are beginning to do that, but that was a lovely delivery. Again, short, he tries to swing it away, hits him on the hip. They'll run through for a single as it runs out square. Leg by signalled by the umpire, and New Zealand have moved to 14 for 1.
Yeah, lovely.
Tim Everingham says, morning Gorilla. I don't know why I'm doing this for anything other than love the game. I think it's truly been cricket deprived was being in Paris. I'd love to know where you were, Tim. You used to live there. Anyway, go New Zealand.
I mean, there has been quite a lot of cricket on since we last broadcast. If we haven't been broadcasting anything.
No, well, I mean, to be honest, I would have loved to have done the World T20 qualifier. I would have loved to have gone out there and done it, but we were unable. We had no money, and it's been a great tournament by all accounts. And well, it's wonderful to see Scotland and Ireland in the competition. Certainly at the start of it, when we get to Australia next year. Flicked away, backward as square. Good piece of fielding, very sharp from the man in there. I'm not sure who it was. Is it Morgan?
That's Owen Morgan, yeah.
What's he doing out there? Anyway, it was a lovely throw on the bounce, which more or less took off the bail, and there is no run.
Jimo in Sydney says, Sydney, hot, sunny, Friday lunchtime, and thank the Lord for the gorillas, for all us expats. Delighted to be here, Jamo. Mayank says, you're back. Thank God for the massive time difference, because it's only 9 a.m. here on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's great for you,
Jay Grover says, Knuckles curls are freaking me the fuck out. It's like a South Asian Shirley Temple. Brill creamed her sen up and nutted him.
I had noticed this. Have you had something done to your hair?
No, I just haven't had it cut for a while.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought it's been it's patted down a little bit.
I've put a little bit of product in it.
Bit of product, Lord.
Yeah, you don't find us older people using product. It's purely a young man's game. Anyway, it's going to be
something to shine the top of my head.
Sam Curran to bowl his third over. He's in to Seifert, who steers this away in the air out to deep backward square. There is Pat Brown. That's my first sighting of the great man.
Yeah, it looks like you kind of wouldn't expect Tom Curran or Sam Curran to be death bowlers. Certainly Pat Brown is a very good death bowler, so is Chris Jordan. Adil Rashid's been used at the death by Morgan a lot in both white ball forms, so we might see that as well. So, the Curran brothers used... We may see this kind of develop as we kind of run up to the T20 World Cup next year in Australia, as England try and work out their combinations. Kind of these two and Saqib Mahmood jostling for a slot alongside Jofra.
Curran to the left-hander Munro, who tucks us away, comfortably away to deep mid-wicket, who comes in off the fence to field. They take a single. Score moves on to 17 for 1.
Yeah, Jimmy Vince banished out there to the boundary.
Poor old Jimmy Vince.
Oh, Jimmy Vince. Anna Forsyth. So speaking of Top Cat, I've had to explain it to 2 separate Canadians last week. One said she's seen it once or twice, but the other 2 had no idea. Madness.
Well, how have you missed out? In comes Curran again. Seifert plays a pull shot in the air. Is there anyone out there going to take the catch? No, it's gone all the way.
Only
what a shot from the young New Zealand wicketkeeper. He's picked up the first 6 of the day.
I believe in miracles. Since you came to bat, you're 6 to me.
That's dismissive, wasn't it? Really? A
Fabulous shot by Seifert onto the length so early. He's hit a 6 off the front foot off a fast bowler over basically wide mid-on.
Well, I can tell you, in comes Curran again, bowls. He flicks this up in the air. There is no genuine mid-wicket. Had there been, it would have been the easiest of catches, but he's going to get a single. And I can tell you, if you're watching us on Cricket Tracker, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, I can tell you now that Nakul Pandey has now not only revealed his curly hair, but he's revealed his wonderful shirt. Look at that shirt. That is absolutely glorious. What do you think, Tony? Do you think you could get away with that?
Me? Probably not.
No, probably not. Curran in. Down the wicket comes Munro. Heaves this high. But is it long enough? Yes, it certainly is. And some bloke drops it in the crowd. And that is another 6. Well, not consecutive 6s, but 2 6s in this over. New Zealand steam on to 30 for 1.
Attempted cutter into the pitch from Sam Curran, but it just didn't stick at all. It looks like a pretty true wicket, sort of light straw coloured. Munro came down the track, and that was right in the slot for him.
Yeah, I must say, at the end of this over, I'm going to be taking my leave for a little bit as Curran comes in again, bowls to him, and he picks that up almost over his shoulder. Is that going to go all the way? I think it has. It's gone way back into that crowd on the bank. That is the 3rd 6 of the over. New Zealand really getting a shift on. Moved to 36 for 1 after 5 overs. And before I take my leave, I just want to say to our wonderful taxi driver, Alfie, if you're listening...
Altaf.
No, he told me his name was Alfie when I asked him. Alfie, I want to say you are a wonderful taxi driver, and never let anyone tell you anything different. Right, that is the end of my stint. It's time for one of you guys to move into the middle and take over ball by ball. Who
Which
did I
one?
say was next?
Me, I think.
Yeah, you.
Who's doing tweets then?
2 6s in a row. 2 6s in a row.
Oh, we need a jingle. Hello, Pete's. It's been a while. Hello. I haven't thought about cricket.
Chris Jordan. It's going to be. Thundering in, right arm over, flicked off his legs by Tim Seifert, straight to mid-wicket. And he will take himself a single.
It's this man.
Chris Jordan's back will make him cry. More England caps will soon draw nigh. For if they don't, then it will seem he'll wish he'd joined the Windies team.
Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful ground, isn't it?
A lot of the grounds in New Zealand are beautiful.
Hagley Oval. The Richard Hadley Pavilion looks like it's like they've taken the Rose Bowl and just squidged it. But it's perfectly in situ. This one's wide and horrible, and is that going to be wide?
Shouldn't be.
Oh, no, he got away with that.
Absolutely.
Umpire had a second, third, probably fourth look,
It was well inside the line. Fuck off.
but decided it was not going to be wide.
Oh, you know.
And Sam Billings, the New England vice captain, skipped away several steps across away, but managed to pouch it nicely.
Don't you like the fact that they've got the little stripies inside the 30-yard? So it's
Oh,
really
very nice.
easy to
Jordan
know.
in. This was looking to be pulled away by Munro, but didn't really. He got a bit of a bottom edge and it basically trundled its way to mid-wicket. It'll take another single.
So they've got the stripes inside the 30-yard circle. So it's really easy.
Yeah, and whatever
it's
they've
just
done on the
plain outside.
No, it's
It makes it really easy.
beautifully coiffured.
Coiffured.
It's a
indeed.
beautifully coiffured surface. Tim Seifert on 12, the New Zealand wicket-keeper.
I went on the 30.5.
He's facing the fourth ball from Chris Jordan, who's hit his straps quite nicely. This one's very full, and Seifert drops the bat on it. It is a way to cover, and they'll take another single.
Now, Statsman.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm commentating. I don't do stats when I'm commentating.
Well, you've got a whole lot of notes.
Well, you don't have time to look at them in T20, especially not when you're
Of course
pissed.
you do. He's on his way back.
Well, go on then. What do you want to know?
Well, I want to know what the average score is in international T20.
Oh, probably about 100 and something.
Is it the first T20 here? Okay.
Well, on this ground
In
or
T20,
in New Zealand?
Well, no, it's the first ever T20 here, so there isn't an average. So that's an easy one to answer.
So what do we reckon they're going to get?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. As in comes Jordan. This one's a little bit shorter, but, well, actually pretty much full on a length. And Munro's disgusted with that, and he flicks his bat up in the air and drops it.
Mud ball.
And taps it on the end.
And then gives it a little pat on the head. Not a Pat Brown, the well-known EastEnders character. Anyway, Munro, 56 T20s. He averages 32, strike rate of 160, a best of 109 not out, and yet apparently the Bears never heard of him. In comes Jordan, flicked beautifully and gone.
Another
Worked
wicket.
it away. It was.
Who's that weirdo?
It was full. The weirdo has weirded off.
He's weirded off.
He's weirded off. It was a full ball.
6.
So possibly a slightly slower ball, Bear. What do you reckon?
I don't think it was like he's toe
It was
injured,
full.
isn't
He was looking for a Yorker, but it seemed full, and
he tried
Munro,
to pick it up over the top of him.
He
and
was
didn't
trying
quite
to
get it.
flick it up over mid-wicket and just failed. And he did the classic look back like it was entirely the pitch's fault. But it was caught by
It
Owen
didn't hit the
Morgan.
fucking
It's
pitch.
always the pitcher's fault.
Well, exactly.
It didn't hit the fucking pitch.
I know that.
It was a full
You
top.
know that. Bones to my left knows that. But he just gave it that look back like somehow
Dot
it was.
ball.
Anyway, here is...
Ooh. I
one
love this
of
jingle.
one of our favourite cricketers who has one of our favourite jingles.
This man.
Quite a long way back. Jake Rogan.
I was gone. I cannot see my own reflection now. My body's gone. My face is gone. I have become Colin de Grandon.
Colin de Grandon.
CDG. What a wonderful jingle. I love that jingle.
It's great.
It's Adil Rashid on the 45. We're going to need another
Sri
jingle.
Lankan
We're going to need
can
another
cover
jingle.
92
It's
overs.
this man.
Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it. Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it. Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it on the 45.
In he comes. And onto the back foot goes Seifert. Forces this away through mid-off, and they will take a single. Adil Rashid, who did a decent job, took a couple of wickets, didn't he, at Lincoln in the first warm-up game, had a rest in the second.
Well, apparently his shoulder was totally knackered, wasn't it? In the World
Well, and he did
Cup?
say...
I mean, we did say we kind of knew that, but it wasn't sort of
he wasn't.
thrown out as much
Well,
as
he
we
did
know
say that.
now. Everyone,
He's got young Matt Parkinson breathing down his neck. in this
I haven't
series.
seen Matt Parkinson. He
I
is
have
a
seen
weirdo who I don't know.
Well,
Why is he breathing down? And
Well, he's a leggy, isn't he?
Well, he's a leggy, yeah. In comes Rashid again, and this is
That's gone
short.
away.
Ball.
That's not enough.
How's that going to make it? No, it's one bounce. One bounce. It's most extraordinary. The ball had already bounced and gone over the boundary before James Vince decided to launch into this enormous dive to try and flick it back, which was utterly, utterly pointless. I'm not quite sure what he thought. There we go.
He was in the air over the line.
It wasn't
I just passed it
utterly
back.
pointless. He was nearly there to save the
Well,
six.
no, but the ball had gone over the boundary before he actually launched himself. Rashid in again, anyway. This one is pushed away to Rashid's left as he's diving away. And it goes to mid-off. They will take... There we go. Look, the ball's already gone before Vince decides to have a...
But if he pats it... I am not an umpire. If he'd have patted it back with his feet off the ground...
It would not have been a six.
Would it not have been a 4?
No.
It was a 4. It was bounced.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, it did, but...
Yeah, but he hadn't actually
literally-
bounced over the rope, so it would not have been a 4. He'd patted it back.
Because his feet were off the ground.
Oh, right, you've lost me now.
Possibly.
He was not grounded the other side.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm with you. Yeah,
But I don't know whether
pushed away to mid-on.
The thing is, I don't know if that only refers to sixes or all boundaries.
I thought that.
No,
So the ball bounced.
No,
the ball bounced. It went
Inside.
over the boundary.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct, yeah.
All right.
It wasn't grounded on the other side.
He wasn't
of the,
grounded on
Gotta
the
be
outside
honest,
line.
aren't
Okay.
we?
It's
over the
much
boundary.
like a 6, yeah, exactly.
As this one, a bit edgily.
No, you can't run that, can you?
No, they have run it, and very sharply too. Very good running between de
Sharp
Grandon and
running.
Seifert. So de Grandon has eased his way pretty quickly on
He's a big hitter.
6. Well, he's a big hitter, but he's got 6 off 3. Adil Rashid with his dodgy injected shoulder, and that one down the track comes Seifert. He was looking to probably slap this away, but he didn't really get hold of it, and he just pushes it to Jordan and at mid-on, and they will just take another single. End of the over.
He's not injected anymore, isn't he? That's the whole point. He's cleared it up.
I thought that was the idea, yeah.
I don't think he's 100% yet.
Really?
From what I understood, I think they'll manage
okay.
him. I think they will manage him carefully through this series. But equally, it's not just about managing them. I think it's also about just trying new players and
Well, it is, but I mean,
new combinations.
if he has a slightly dodgy shoulder, and this is a pointless set of T20s in New Zealand, you just give him that time off, don't you? Let him completely settle. Completely heal. Well, you know, he's a fucking stalwart aside.
He is a stalwart.
You know
Yes,
you know if he fits in and he's working well, he plays. And therefore, if he's slightly injured and shouldn't be playing, he doesn't play.
Fair enough. I would go, now we're going to see
Ooh, who's this?
Worcestershire's
A new boy,
finest. It's
a new
Pat
boy.
Brown.
Who's this weirdo?
Well, it's Pat Brown.
It's this man.
Worcestershire's finest.
God, he looks like a 12-year-old. I'm getting old.
And dot ball. A bit on leg side, that one, and it was easy enough for Seifert, oh dear, to work away to mid.
Oh, don't let him get 3, for fuck's sake.
And they are going to end up getting 3. It was a horrible misfield.
Off his very first ball.
Well, he's not going to be happy with that.
No.
Well, he had a horrible time in the first T20 at Lincoln. Was dropped 3 times. Took a wicket in his England debut, I suppose, if you count a warm-up game. And he was dropped 3 times. And who was that went down there and failed horribly to field? It wasn't good. So poor old Pat Brown must be thinking, the gods are against him. He could have had 4 wickets in that first game. That one is a beautifully disguised slower ball that also sort of cut back into de Grandon, and he was through the shot about 10 minutes before it got past him.
It was a normal ball.
Well, I don't know. No, I think. It just maybe cut away a little bit. Billings was taking it down at ankle height.
He's trying to work on the leg side and just missed it. It was 130 Ks. It wasn't particularly quick.
No, true, it wasn't. Pat Brown again, who is an interesting looking character, isn't he? That one is slapped, but it's slapped straight to back point. James Vince, the man who was doing the duties there.
Bit of a catch-up on...
I think we should. We're probably,
we're
probably
miles
hundreds of miles
behind.
behind. It was Darragh Millan, I beg his pardon. I should know him, shouldn't I?
Jay Graver sort of comments, I don't often watch on Facebook, but Hendo's looking pretty spiffy on the pop.
Spivvy or spiffy?
Spiffy, double F.
One run.
Okay.
Double F.
Sri Lanka
I
21
don't know what
after 3
Jay's doing,
overs.
but great.
Pat Brown in again, right arm over. Flicked off his legs by de Gondom. And they will take a single. Keep them coming, Bones, or else you'll get way behind.
Jeff Perkins, who is this non-ranting fellow at peace with the world who sounds a bit like the old Hendo?
Or maybe it was Hendo.
It was Hendo.
Bobby Hendo.
Yeah, so...
52 for 2, by the way.
It's good to have you all back, Pete.
our good friend Jez. You mentioned
Messers, hello, Messers.
Fluffers, question mark.
Fluffers.
I presume...
In comes Brown. That was, I think, a slower ball. Bear your toe. 112 kilometres, yeah.
Yeah, it was a slow ball.
And
He
Seifert
chipped that up in the air.
did chip it, but it
And
was...
was just short of the man at cover.
That's fantastic, yes. Would you just like to take over ball by ball?
Well, no, not really,
Yeah.
but you asked me to tell
Yes,
you
you
what
would.
happened.
Yeah, of course you would.
Oh, I'll be there soon enough.
You will.
I'm
warming the
smashed, I have to say.
seat. Marvellous. Pat Brown, first over anyway. 120 and 130, 132, 131, and as
Not
we said, a
particularly
slow
quick,
one.
is he?
In he comes again anyway. That's
Oh,
wide, that's horrible.
filthy.
It's flicked up over the square leg umpire, down to the square leg boundary. They take one, they thought about two, they won't go for it. Billings takes it on the
One
half
run.
volley in front of the batsman, and it's 53 for 2.
Wasp has them at 170 and they're 53 for 2 off of 8. I don't think 170. I'm more thinking 150 here. They're lucky.
Yeah, it's not
They've
looking...
had one good over and the rest actually they've been pretty
Meantime,
poor.
Johnny Bairstow is wandering off to sign an autograph,
That's very good of him, isn't
which
it?
is
So,
excellent.
Jeff Perkins, you older gents may not have product in your hair, but those with beards generally have traces of soup in it.
beer.
Toothpaste. I always find it's toothpaste.
Speak for yourself, Jeff, I have to say.
Exactly.
I always come out of the bathroom in the morning and...
Ted
Oh,
Super.
this is reversed.
Oh,
Slapped.
Oh,
Up and over
Horrible
and
shot.
4.
He did get 4 now.
And Adil Rashid is so disgusted by that, he's left his chewing gum dangling out
It's
over
me,
his
stand
beard.
she. It's me, stand she.
I'm going to upset.
That was a horrible half tracker.
One run.
I'm going to upset.
Horrible shot, too,
I'm going to
really.
upset Hendo with this. This little message from Chris Waller. Morning, lads. Tuned in from the bullet train from Kyoto to Tokyo.
Oh, I used to do that very often, yes.
Obviously, getting ready for the Rugby World Cup final on.
9 o'clock start.
I'm
Today,
I am very much looking
boys.
forward to that.
Jay Graver, Knuckles' shirt is fucking boss. Don't know what that even means.
That means it's excellent.
It's appreciation.
I don't think so.
No, that means it's good. That one is Fuller by Rashid and onto the back foot.
Right, now we're getting down to some...
Gondom, and he pushes away to the offside and takes a single.
Right, no.
One run.
First shirt. Who the F is Pat Brown?
Well, yes. I would ask that question myself.
He's been consistent performer for Worcestershire, consistent taker of wickets in the county championship.
He's ugly.
Well, that's sadly bad. You know, if we picked our commentary team in the same way as you obviously want to pick your England team.
I'm just saying.
If you only want sort of golden Adonises, as this one is worked away into the onside,
We'd be
and they
so
take it on the single. Well, you say we, presumably in the royal sense. As in comes Rashid again, whirling away, flicked off his legs. Backward of square leg, they'll take another single. De Gondom will move on to Nerf.
Jay Grove was in form. Bear's urban camouflage is so good I can just about see floating chubby head.
Hey, I've lost a little bit of weight, I think.
Mog's with us as well. So,
Mog!
it's so reassuring to know
Mog!
that Colin de Grandhomme is playing with number 77 on his back.
As this one's flicked away
One
into
run.
the onside. Mog, are you going to the game tonight? Tomorrow? Tonight? I've losing my track of my time. Anyway, it's the MCG game and it's the third of the T20s, Australia and Sri Lanka. Do let us know if you are. There will be a member of the Bishop family there.
Hooray.
I don't have his seat number, but you can always probably
You
go
can
and
meet
find
a
him
bishop
somehow.
before the bishop.
Meet the bishop before the bishop.
Mog's last comment, you really need a jingle for all those weirdos the bear doesn't know.
Well, that's just about
Quite a few
everybody
in this game, Mog. There's quite a few.
61 for 2.
We're all there with bear on that
26.
one.
See, Seifert's done a bit of a Joe Root. All of a sudden he's on 26,
6.
and I'm thinking, how did he get there? De
Sri Lanka
Grandon, a slightly
31
more
for 1
laboured
after
9,
4
but off
overs.
8, so he's more than run a ball. Brown has 1 ball left of his first over in international cricket. This one is flicked up and over.
Oh,
corner,
that should have
Wombo,
been
no.
caught, shouldn't it?
No. It was rescued on the boundary. They will take 2. Oh, thank you. Second over in international cricket. Yes,
Come
indeed.
on, Tony. Get it fucking together,
Yeah.
man.
Thank
Get
you
your facts
thank you for
right.
walking all the way from the green room to tell me that, Knuckle.
Yeah.
I do have some shoelaces that might need tying later. If you want to come and explain those to me as well, that would be brilliant. Who was that did the fielding? It was a very acrobatic piece of fielding.
Number 31.
Number 31. In
Unnecessary.
comes Brown again in his
Unnecessary.
second over and worked off his legs very nicely by De Grandon backwards of square. They will take a single.
See, I'm going to say this now because
1 run.
what the fucking hell? But there are plenty of players who can play a T20 for an international side who may not be the best, may not be the worst, but T20 is T20.
T20 is T20.
Much the same as the IPL. You can have an IPL side play an international side.
Well, do you know what fascinates me? And I'll tell you in a minute after this ball.
You can have
From number 40.
many of
No,
internet
from
you know,
Brown down the track comes Seifert, worked away to mid-wicket. They will take 1 and they won't
Ooh.
take 2.
Thought about it.
So England's all-time T20 win rate is about 57%, I think.
Okay.
New Zealand's is just over 50%. So that kind of tells me that at the end of the day...
What's
it's-
India's?
sorry, Bear, I only looked at India,
1
England
run.
and
I just want to... Yeah, my point is
And
that...
it has...
my point...
so it's a
my
lottery.
point
It has a
being-
degree of lottery
Yes,
about it. In comes
absolutely.
Brown.
The shorter form of the
Ooh.
game.
Dropped that a little bit short. De Grandon was looking to, I think, pull or hook that, and
Well,
decided it came up a little bit
here we go.
sharply, and he's got 1 warning for the over, does Pat Brown.
Let's go down the rabbit hole. This is my point. The shorter the form of the game,
How can you give a
the
warning to a
more,
12?
the less the skill counts and the more the luck counts, right? Which is, you know, I watch T20. I don't take a lot of scope by it, to be honest. But when you
Dot
get down
ball.
to T10, and now we get into the 100, it's bollocks, mate.
Well, fair enough. There's in comes Pat Brown again. Oh, pulled up and over,
Has he
one-handed
got
actually,
enough?
but has he got enough of it?
Yeah.
You bet
Oh,
your
he
life he
has.
has. That's over mid-wicket. De Grandon is up and running. And as we look at Pat Brown, we kind of think, well, we know what Andy Caddick did with his ears after he retired.
Do you put them back?
Flapping in the breeze as they are as he comes into ball. But, well, yeah, it's, that one. That was a curious shot, though, from De Grandon, wasn't it?
Little message from Dan Jocelyn. You're back just in time for my drive across the desert from Las Vegas to Los Angeles.
Oh, Viva
Go
Las
for it.
Vegas. Pat Brown in again. Full. Swan
Out
is
Sri Lanka,
again.
33
Also
for
looking
2.
to give it the kitchen sink was De Grandon, but he didn't time that at all. And it was down to deep mid-wicket. Knuckle is making signals. He has stood with a glass of
He's
wine.
coming where you
in
are.
a flowery shirt, and he's basically telling me
I'm going to finish off and say...
to take a hike.
So he was tweeting while he was stopped in Baker, California, home of the world's largest thermometer and gateway to Death Valley.
Nice. I like that. No, my point is, the shorter form of the game, actually, the less skill comes into it and the more luck comes into it. My personal opinion. You know,
I think the second part of that is true. I'm not sure about the first part because what T20 has accelerated certain skills hugely.
yeah. But
Bowlers have to be a lot less predictable. They have to have so much more in the locker. The fielding standards have gone up as a result. Adil Rashid is in. His third over is hoiked by Colin de Grandon straight down the throat of David Milan. James Vince at deep mid-wicket. A little bit slower than de Grandon was expecting. He got under it, got too far under it, picked out his man. Adil Rashid has a wicket, and New Zealand find themselves 72 for 4. simple catch made to look simple. Sorry, 72 for 3 after 10.1 overs. Colin de Grandhomme gone for 19 off 14. Never quite got going in the way that Colin de Grandhomme can. And England have done in general, apart from a little bit of an explosion off Sam Curran's last over, have generally kept New Zealand pretty much under control.
Yeah, but this is my point. I think T20 is very predictable in the sense that you can get short in the first 10, but you can accelerate in the second 10. You can get up to 150, 160. The game is always in play.
Or doesn't that rather imply that it's actually unpredictable?
Well, no,
actually, there's a lot of ways.
Yeah, but in the
you're never out of the game. You're never out of the game.
We had to put that wicket down to the fact that we changed over ball-by-ball commentary. That's Knackle's wicket, that one.
De Grandhomme wanted to try and launch Rashid into the grass banks, didn't quite time it, and as a result picked up the man. That does bring the most experienced player in the New Zealand side to the wicket at number 5.
Ross Taylor.
Yeah, he will be on strike. He won't be on strike. They must have crossed while the ball was in there. They have. So Ross Taylor will be at the non-strikers end. We'll give him a jingle. Seifert has to wait an age for this lovely delivery from Arthur Rashid. Really held back, and Seifert could only bunt it down the ground to deepish set mid-off for a single, bringing Ross Taylor on to strike. Only 3 4s and 4 6s so far for New Zealand. So you've got short fine leg, short third man, extra cover, and mid-wicket up in the circle. So presumably we've then got a man at deep point, long off, long on, and deep square leg, and deep mid-wicket. Presumably, I would imagine that's the field, but I can't quite see it in its entirety.
Big question from Jay Grover. Important. Does de Grandhomme have his tash back? If not,
he doesn't.
He's dead to me.
He does not.
Which is why he's probably out.
Rashid tosses this up and drifts into the pads of Ross Taylor. That was a lot fuller than Taylor was expecting. You often see bowlers holding it back, but that actually was fuller than Taylor was expecting. A nice delivery from Rashid. Thuds into the pad. There is no run. Yeah, we've seen a few usually facial-haired cricketers for New Zealand not sporting the facial hair. Martin Guptill shaved his beard off for the first time in several years.
They've lost it.
As Rashid is in, tosses this up, and Taylor nudges this down the ground past the left hand of mid-wicket, down to deepish set. Long on really, comes screaming off the boundary to keep it to a single. Great start to this third over from Arthur Rashid, the 11th of the innings. 2 runs and a wicket off it. New Zealand 74 for 3. You're listening to Guerrilla Cricket's coverage in England's tour of New Zealand. You join us for the first T20 international from Christchurch. Tossed up by Arthur Rashid. Seifert just clips this into the leg side. Chris Jordan comes in off the mid-wicket boundary, long on boundary. You don't take on Chris Jordan's arm. Just a single. He's already hit the stumps once today. The batter was well in, but nevertheless. So England won the toss and elected to field. New Zealand are 75 for 3, 1 ball left of the 11th over. A bit of a change to the field, and now mid-wicket's gone back, so we've got short fine leg, short third man, backward point, and extra cover. So 3 men are out, 3 men up in the circle on the offside, as Al Rashid is in. Holds this back a little bit, might have been out of the front of the hand, and just a nudge single by Ross Taylor. It will just be a single, trying to protect, I think, that boundary that Ross Taylor likes to pick up, likes to hit to with that pick-up slog sweep of his, but had to content himself with a single. Good over from Rashid, just the 4 off it, plus the boundary. New Zealand, after 11 overs, are 76 for 3.
And not an awful lot of excitement on Twitter at the moment. Everyone's very quiet. So time for Bear to...
What have we got on YouTube?
I haven't looked at that yet.
It's over there.
I know.
I personally, I think New Zealand are a bit short here. But
yeah, I mean, they did not.
They're looking like 150.
Yeah, they didn't start the innings well. It took that explosion of Sam Curran's third over to really get them going in the power play. Yeah, Guptill and Munro took a long time to get going. Speaking of which, the man who bowled that over that went for a few is back into the attack. He's bowling out quite early in this, his first T20 international.
It is.
Number 13. Wrong Sam.
Yes.
Number 13 with our jingle cart.
Ron Curran, also wrong Sam.
One run.
round the wicket, left arm round the wicket to the right-handed Ross Taylor. We've got a man back at the third man boundary, 3 men up in the offside at backward point cover, and mid off on a short fine leg as well. Everyone else on the leg side is back. Curran comes in quite wide of the crease from round the wicket, fires this at the pads of Ross Taylor, who clips this nicely, but the man comes round. Lewis Gregory also making his senior international debut actually for England, played quite a bit for the Lions in all formats. He comes round to field. They come through for they came through for 2 in fact.
4.
No, it must have only been a single.
Sri Lanka 41 for 2 after 6 overs.
2 then.
Yes, they must have gone through for 2, 78 for 3, apologies. No change to the field as Curran is at the end of his mark, coming around the wicket as he bowls a slow ball into the pitch, and Ross Taylor can't do anything other than just block this back to Sam Curran. There is no run. Curran not trusted with the death overs by Owen Morgan, bowled 3 on the trot in the power play. Then after being hit around, got taken out of the attack, and now he's back bowling out in the 12th over. Unlikely to see Lewis Gregory bowl. He does bowl a little bit for Somerset, but mostly used as a finisher with the bat, and it can be devastating. His scores at over 2 runs a ball in the last 6 overs or so in the past. This is a leg delivery which is nudged by Taylor down to deep square leg. They come through for a single, bringing Tim Seifert, who's been rather starved to the strike, onto strike.
He's very leg side, isn't he? From
well, he's trying to bowl
lefty going round the wicket.
Well, he's trying to bowl very straight, and with the field set back on the leg side. So yeah, he is bowling
single.
Yeah, exactly. He's bowling to his field.
I saw that bloody. You see that graphic? I couldn't really understand it actually on Twitter about finishers in certain.
Curran in. This is a full delivery on middle and leg. Seifert nudges this down to long on. Jordan comes in, and as I said in the last over, you do not take on Chris Jordan's arm unless you have a death wish. They come through for a single. Yes, I did see that. But England have actually not really found a T20 international finisher. And part of the reason might be that actually the Blast is not actually that strong a competition compared to T20 leagues around the world.
Well, that was true, and I see that, but there was no bloody.
Yes, the original picture of the graph didn't have any units on it, which didn't help. Back of a length, and slightly fuller than back of a length actually. And Taylor nudges this very cleverly, I guess, to manufacture 2 from probably where there should have been 1. He just took the pace off of it and made sure that it rolled to just to the edge of the 30-yard circle, which meant that the man coming in from the leg side boundary could not prevent the 2.
1 run.
So 6
so
runs
good news.
off the over.
Twitter's woken up.
Hello,
Abhishek. Good morning from Bombay to the good folks of Guerrilla Cricket.
Hello,
good morning.
It's about 6:30 in the morning, isn't it? In good old India.
Curran last ball of his first over in T20 international cricket. He's bowling to the vastly experienced Ross Taylor down the leg side. A sort of shout for BW in that he started shouting, then stopped shouting quite quickly. Probably a leg by as Taylor tried to work it into the leg side, fielded by Arthur Rashid. So yes, indeed, leg by. So New Zealand are 83 for 3 after their 12 overs, and I think Sam Curran can be quietly pleased with his first outing in T20 international cricket. 1 for 33 of his 4 overs.
Jay Grover, Knackle might have a Scarface outfit on, but there's no need to act coked up. Unless he is, in which case, carry on.
I have never partaken.
John's good to see you back. Abhishek again, good to hear from you, John. How have you been? Well, that's a private conversation, so you guys carry on.
The Rashid tossing the ball.
Toby Emmerdale, Yorl, it's so good to hear you guys.
Well, thank you.
Welcome, Toby. Arthur Rashid is going to bowl out, not being used as a
Sri Lanka 47 for 2 after 7
which he has
overs.
been sometimes tossed up. A lot of overspin, a lot of dip, and Taylor smashes this out into the offside. A really bad throw, actually, from the man on the cover boundary. Lewis Gregory, I think, somehow managed to release that into the middle of the pitch. It didn't really matter. They were always going to come through for 2, but still not a very good throw.
Mog says, you always sounded pleased to see my tweet before. Your time off must have been pretty dull.
We're very pleased to see you, Mog. Come on.
We love you.
It's always lovely to have you in. I presume it's in your time zone.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all for Australians. Rashid fires this one down the leg side, and Ross Taylor gets that slug sweep away with short, fine leg up. That was full enough that he could just work it past him for 4.
2 + 2 is a
Rashid doesn't stray in line very often, and Ross Taylor took advantage on that occasion. Just slightly too full, and as I say, with short fine leg up, it was a pretty easy hit for Taylor to find that man on the find that boundary. But New Zealand need plenty more of those to get up to a strong score. 89 for 3 after 12.2 overs. Tossed up outside off stump, making sure that Taylor can't get that sweep away. Drives down to Johnny Bairstow at long off. They come through for a single.
Dot ball.
Rashid at the end of his mark. Short fine leg, short third man, a backward point and cover, who's sort of halfway back to the edge of the 30-yard circle. Fourth ball of the over is, I think, slightly defeats Tim Seifert. He was expecting that to be right in his hitting arc for a big slog sweep, but it just never got to him, and he ended up having to paddle it round the corner to the man at short fine leg. The throw came in and...
They still got a single. I mean,
they did take the single.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, they hit it so badly, actually, they managed to come through for the single, despite the fact it was Chris Jordan. And the fact that Chris Jordan's on the 45 rather implies that Rashid was slightly bowling for that. Fifth ball of the over, tossed up outside off stump and driven pleasantly by Ross Taylor, but it should just be a single out to the man on the cover boundary. That is Lewis Gregory, who fires in a slightly better throw. At least it was vaguely near the wicketkeeper on that occasion. One ball left of Rashid's spell. He's gone for 9 in this over. New Zealand 92 for 3. One ball left of the 13th over, which will be bowled now by Ala Rashid. They're in now and tosses this up very, very slow, and Seifert has to wait an age for it. And again, Lewis Gregory caught into action. This time his third throw is the best of the lot, frankly. 10 off the over. Ala Rashid 1 for 31 off his 4 overs. Again, not spectacular, but not a bad afternoon's work.
Request from Abhishek. Give us the Rashid jingle! Exclamation mark.
Oh, we've had it. Who's this dude, man?
We're currently seeing on screen one of New Zealand, Sky Sport New Zealand's sort of pitch reporter types, doing some entertainment for the crowd and for his host broadcaster between overs, possibly during a drinks break. No, not a drinks break. New Zealand 93 for 3 after 13 overs. Sam Curran's bowled out, Arthur Rashid's bowled out. Still got Tom Curran and Pat Brown and Chris Jordan, in fact, to bowl quite a few overs. And it looks like it's going to be the third mentioned of those. He's only bowled 1 over so far and took a wicket.
That chap was obviously on work.
Chris Jordan's back will make him cry. More England caps will soon draw nigh. Or if they don't, then it will seem he'll wish he'd joined the windy team.
Jordan's really carved out a niche for himself as a T20 death bowler for England and for various franchises he plays for around the world.
Sri Lanka 51 for 2
7 overs left of the innings. He's going to bowl
franchise.
I said and Sussex. That's a horrible full toss, which Seifert tries to launch over long arm, but he's got right under that. They're going to check for the no ball, actually, because it was pretty high. They're going to have a look.
It's not a no ball. Fuck off.
Well, that's not really the law, is it?
Yeah, I know, but, essentially...
Well, it's not at all. They're checking to see if this was over waist high. If Tim Seifert has managed to hit a full toss straight to the man on the
Seifert doesn't think so, does he?
Seifert is walking off.
They're saying no. He's walking off.
In fact, that was the sort of rover camera that was coming out, and then they sent it away again. It's certainly not a no ball in terms of front foot from Chris Jordan.
They got all the technology, and that's a pretty ropey picture. That's not a no ball. That's fucking waist high.
It's pretty tight. I think it's probably just waist high in his normal stance, but it's not that far off. He's slightly crouching in his stance because his back knee has bent as he was trying to get under that.
That would fit him in the nuts.
I think that this is probably a thigh-high full toss, and Phil will be out. And New Zealand will have lost a second wicket, hitting a full toss straight down a fielder's throat. Waiting for the umpire. He's on screen now, and the sponsors logo is taking a little bit of time to show. We're decision pending. Out.
Thank you.
Tim Seifert is out. Chris Jordan has a second wicket.
Never in doubt.
Seifert was slowing down throughout that innings, and he really did have to try and get on with things. Really, he was doing his team no favours hanging around, scoring it barely over a runner ball. It was an attempted slow ball from Chris Jordan that just, I think, slipped out of his hand. Seifert got that right off the toe end, and a comfortable catch for Johnny Bairstow at deep mid wicket. So Colin Munro hit a full toss straight to Owen Morgan, and Tim Seifert's done pretty much the same thing to Johnny Bairstow. 32 off 26 for Tim Seifert. Only 1-4 and 1-6. Started well, but as I say, slowed down pretty much through the entire innings. New Zealand 93 for 4 off 13.1 overs. Chris Jordan 2 for 3 from 1.1 overs. And that brings this man to the middle.
Is it this one?
No, not that one. Other Mitchell.
Centenor baby.
Number six.
Yard hit, 60 metre hit. There we go, 64 metres and 65 to the southern.
They go in again. That's uppish from Pereira, but there's runs here as he slices it behind point. Once more, it'll be a brace. Again, it's the angular figure of Mitchell Starc doing the fielding out near the rope. And it's 2 for 58 with 1 ball remaining in Agar's second over. He's conceded 7 so far, as it'll be just a single, with Pereira turning it round the corner to once more retain the strike. So after 9 on the KO scoreboard, Sri Lanka progressed to 2 for 59.
Another All Sports all-time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.
NBA Rookie of the Year is
Ben Simmons.
I'd like to thank my family, friends. I wouldn't be here without them.
Andrew Gaze.
What a fantastic honour for a young... All the training in the world, you can't teach that. He's conducted himself in a way I think that all Australians would be very, very proud.
Keep listening for more All Sports moments on Sports Radio.
2 for 59 after 9 overs. Sri Lanka sent into bat for the third time in this series. Kusal Pereira has got a start. He needs to go on. It was 16 from 16 in game 1 in Adelaide, 27 from 19 up in Brisbane, and he's now reached 28 from 22 here in Melbourne. On the back foot, facing the first ball of Zampa's new over, and he works it quietly out to wide mid-on, and they take yet another single. 2 for 60.
Well, interesting stat from our great mate Laurie Colliver, Beef, is that no boundaries for Zampa and Agar in Adelaide, and only a 6 and a 4 in Brisbane. So Sri Lanka have never been able to get on top of them at all, and none tonight so far. It's pretty good bowling, that, Hodgie.
Very good.
Zampa in again. Vishka Fernando works it down to long on. There was a slight coming together between bowler and non-striker in Zampa and Pereira. I'm not sure that Zampa would have reached the ball anyway. They take just a single.
And that's a great statistic for the bowlers, and I think that's about the length that the Australian bowlers are actually bowling. We're not allowing any step and hits for the Sri Lankan unit. Really getting that ball into the surface.
Pereira steps away to stay leg side of this next delivery from Zampa and slices it out to McDermott in the deep for yet another single.
Yeah, you're right. The length's been good, and maybe the decision-making from the Sri Lankan batsman hasn't been as good. So the problem is, if you don't take a risk soon, it gets to the stage where you're going to have to try and get 10 and over at the back end to get a really competitive total, aren't you?
Zampa to Fernando on 13, who opens the shoulders and plays a belligerent square drive out to Ashton Agar at deep point. And they take yet another single. And that is the bigger of the two boundaries, the city end or western side of the ground, with the pitch set over on the eastern side of the wicket table.
We've got to try and keep your strike rate above 100. Fernando 14 or 15 at the moment. You need to just push that along a little bit. If you know your partner the other end, Michelle's going pretty well, then you have to take it on yourself as a partner just to step it up a little bit in this phase.
2 balls until the halfway mark of the Sri Lankan innings as Pereira slices one behind point for another single. So the picket fence well and truly going in this over. 5 singles with 1 delivery to come.
You're exactly right. One of them's, and I reckon Pereira's that batsman that you actually want to bat through, because he still hits a bad ball and then he can really go at the back end. So really what they've got to do is make a decision, and the young fella's probably got to go 14 or 15. He's got to take a risk.
Zampa once more, that's flatter, and Fernando opens the blade and pushes firmly out to Agar at deep point once more, retains the strike with that single, and at the halfway mark of the Sri Lankan innings on the Biz Cover scoreboard, the tourists have reached 2 for 65.
Are low interest rates impacting on your investment returns? It's time to rethink. Rethink Investing creates wealth for clients through the strategic purchase of positively geared, high cash flow commercial property. Industrial properties, retail assets, or office spaces can be a smart investment option that produces significant and long-term return on investment. Rethink your investment options and look to commercial property. Learn more at rethinkinvesting.com.au. Rethink Investing, Australia's #1 commercial buyers agency.
Halfway mark of the Sri Lankan innings as over number 11 begins. Ashton Agar with his left arm finger spin round the wicket. He comes, and Fernando plays it softly out through the covers for yet another single. 2 for 66, the tourists.
Well, this is playing into Australia's hands now. Usually, if you've had a look at 2 overs, the spinner, you get it after the next one. Now's the time for Sri Lanka to put the foot down. They can't wait any longer if they're going to have any chance of posting a good total to challenge the Australian batting unit.
Well, MCG is so hard to get, the back end of your innings when you're bowling your quicks into the wicket. You're probably at best getting 8 and over. That gets them to 145. They'll need more than that, won't they, at the MCG?
Zampa 2 overs, none for 10. Agar 2.1 overs, none for 15. You can add another single to that analysis. He drops a little short, but Pereira doesn't cash into the full extent. Plays a pull shot, but straight to the man out in the deep. 2 for 67.
That's the defensive bowling which Ashton Agar has actually improved on, knowing that statistically he doesn't match up to the left-hand batter. He's able just to get him off strike and attack the right-hander.
This is Fuller. Fernando prods forward with an open face, but can't beat Finch at backward point. No run.
Well, you're exactly right. He's just learning his craft for a while, knows his role. Everyone's done their role well in this series from the Australian point of view.
Agar in again, and Fernando slaps this out through the covers. McDermott in the game once more, who's taken both catches for the 2 wickets to fall, and it's yet another single.
Quick A-League update, Beef. Sydney FC 1, Newcastle Jets 1 after 22 minutes.
So the last 10 scoring shots have been singles, as you make that 11. This time Pereira was advancing and then trying to sweep off the pad, a leg by, as the ball balloons harmlessly towards square leg, and it's 2 for 69.
Well, 0 spin on offer, so Ashton Agar's into his 3rd over, 1 ball left, none for 17, hasn't looked like turning one, there's 0 happening. I think young Fernando needs to take the long handle sooner rather than later.
Last ball, the 11th, and he does just that. He hasn't holed out to long off. In fact, there's a misfield down there as the ball spun on the turf. A rare misfield from a bloke called Steve Smith, and they get back for 2. So it breaks that sequence of 11 singles, and at the end of 11, Sri Lanka on the BizCover scoreboard. Visit bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save. A 2 for 71.
The crack of cricket bat on ball, the cheers of the crowd for every 6. These are the sounds of summer, just like the clap of thunder, the crackle of bushfire and the drum of hailstones. So it's important to be prepared and protect your home and belongings.
Westpac Home Insurance can help, covering your home against all that summer brings. Simply search Westpac Home Insurance to find out more. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the PDS to see if this insurance is right for you.
2 for 71 from 11 overs, Sri Lanka. Current run rate 6.45. We've just had 5 consecutive overs of spin, which the Sri Lankans have scored just 29 runs from. Ashton Agar 3 overs for 19. Adam Zampa 2 overs for 10. And it is a return to the quicks with Pat Cummins to come back into the attack and bowl this 12th over of the Sri Lankan innings from the southern stand end.
And good move from the captain, Aaron Finch. You've got the feeling that something has to happen. Whether it was Zampa going to yield the reward or Cummins, time will tell.
Cummins in, and Pereira swipes away at this one, almost slicing it to backward point. He can't breach the infield, where Steve Smith fields with without a blemish on this occasion. It's a dot ball.
Big casual last over from Steve Smith. But I agree. Good move, Paddy Cummins. Just they've got to go. So he's one of the toughest to get away, as you know. And if you get Mendes out, Pereira out, you've got two right-handers in. You can actually go back to your leg spinner then if you wanted to.
Pereira 32 from 28. Cummins with him again. Short ball. Pereira plays a straight pull shot. Didn't get all of it. It lobbed just outside the fielding restriction circle, but they do get back for two as throw up the stumps from the Australian skipper from about 40 metres away. Was never threatening the woodwork. The batsman made their ground anyway, 2 for 73.
No, he can be quite random, Finchy, with his throwing. Sometimes he's on, sometimes they go anywhere. But this looks like a planned move from Paddy Cummins with 3 back on the onside, 2 behind square, 1 just in front of square. Mid-on's up, mid-off's up. It's going to be short into the wicket.
Tries again. Yep, short into the wicket, you betcha. And the pull shot balloons towards square leg. And no chance of a catch. Bowler and wicketkeeper were chasing in vain as it lobbed. Well, Blocker Wilson could have stepped quickly to his left and taken a simple catch, but it's not allowed from the umpires. So another single. This is easily the highest individual score for the Sri Lankans in this series. Pereira moves to 35. It's 2 for 74.
Quick bouncer there. That's deployed now. They'll sort of kept the same field, but he might into the wicket off pace. He'll use that at those big square boundaries.
Avishka Fernando, 19 from 20. Another short ball, another mistimed pull shot, and he'll get just a single as it wobbles its way out towards deep mid-wicket.
Well, they're off pace, Bruce and Hodgie, as we know, very clever from the Australian team. You do that at the MCG. They know the conditions well. What Sri Lanka have to do is actually be able to free their arms. So they almost need to step away a bit and flat bat it back at the bowler.
He looks like he's trying to target the side screen with a straight bat. You've got to set up knowing that Paddy Cummins is going to bowl this into the wicket, and absolutely just tennis ball it, exactly what you're talking about, Boof. There's a lot of space out there. His third man comes up and Aaron Finch goes back and long on. So 4 men out on the onside are all on the deep, 3 men up on the offside.
He's bowled so much better than none for 21 from 2.4 suggests. Cummins in again, another short ball. And this is hacked away by Pereira from about eye-line height. And again, just a single as Agar does the fielding in the deep. 2 for 76, 1 ball remaining in the 12th.
Good execution. I mean,
you allowed to bowl 2 above shoulder height?
No.
Well, that one definitely was.
Only the first one of the over was.
Well, get out to your mate Blocker Wilson and let him know.
Well, they should know that. I had to check with you, Hodgie.
Storms in again. Fernando gets plenty of this, but maybe not enough. He hasn't cleared the rope, and is that a third catch to McDermott? It is. The ball has followed Ben McDermott tonight, and he's taken a very easy catch in front of his eyes at deep backward square. He's taken all 3 catches for the 3 wickets to fall. Avishka Fernando soaked up a lot of deliveries. He's finally out for 20, and Sri Lanka 3 for 76.
Well, more about the execution, really. We just talked about it just a couple of balls ago, where you've just got to read the play a little bit better than that and then execute a fraction better and be a fraction more aggressive too.
That was the end of the 12th over, and on the BizCover scoreboard, Sri Lanka 3 for 76.
Introducing the Architect's Choice range of stylish and affordable do-it-yourself glass pool fencing. Proudly partnered by the Royal Life Saving Society of Australia and conforms to all Australian standards. It's family safe. Bring your outdoors to life with clear views and clear lines. The choice is clear with the Architect's Choice.
See the Architect's Choice range of glass pool fencing at Bunnings Warehouse or thearchitectschoice.com.au.
3 for 76 Sri Lanka after 12 overs. Ben McDermott into the side tonight to replace Glenn Maxwell, has taken 3 catches off the bowling of the 3 quicks. Mitchell Stark, Kane Richardson, and now Pat Cummins. Wickets falling at 3, 33, and now 76. Partnership of 43 between that pair, but they soaked up 7.2 overs to make that many runs. And now Mitchell Stark to be reintroduced to bowl the 13th over. And Sri Lanka's run rate dipping, if anything, now hovering around 6.3.
Well, good move again. Get Mitchell Stark. Give him one. They'll try and get the left-hander out. If they do that, the spin can go about their work and they'll really struggle. So Pereira's got to be a little bit careful. He's got to say, right, we need to get a move on, but I need to take the spinners as my best option, I reckon.
Oshada Fernando is the new batter, but he's at the non-strikers end as an off-pace delivery from Stark to start with. Pereira chased it and just lobbed it over the head of Ashton Turner at cover, and they got back for 2. Strange shot, strange piece of fielding as well.
That's something that's been happening regularly so far tonight for the Australian bowling unit, starting their second over with an off-pace delivery. We've seen the 2 big quicks in Stark and Cummings doing it. Richo did it as well, so it might be a plan which they've adopted so far.
1 for 11 from 2.1 for Stark as he's in to Pereira again. Leg stump line on this occasion, turned off the pads by Sri Lanka's leading run scorer.
It's amazing how your figures can be flattering when the leg buys don't go towards your bowling total. There was a couple in the first or second over straight off the pad of Kushal Pereira, yet you go in, you got 2.2 overs, 1 for 12.
Well, it's been an argument for a while. If you're bowling down a leg, isn't it that you should maybe get those against your name, but then if you bowl a good bouncer and it hits the shoulder, it goes for 4. It's the same scenario. So, it's just one of those rules that will stay the same.
Stark changing to round the wicket to the right-hander, Oshada Fernando. He gets off the mark first ball, played it off the rib cage and played it pretty well. Turned it to backward square. Carey, in fact, with the gloves on, has to gallop across to do the fielding.
I'll tell you what's interesting here, Hodgie. The Sri Lankans have tried to think they're playing in Sri Lanka with those pull shots and hook shots. Trying to clear the rope. You can't do it, unless you're sheer power of even David Warner would struggle to clear the ropes there. Those sort of power players. Straight's your best option, or over fine leg.
3 for 80. Stark to Pereira, who plays the shot of the night. A blazing cover drive. It was in the air. A dive from Ashton Turner, but that was going like a bullet.
Shot of the day, thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. I was pitched up and Kushal Pereira climbed all over it. Minimal swing, swung through the line and absolutely smoked it past Ashton Turner at cover and went all the way. Welcome needed boundary for Kushal. It was an off-speed ball from Mitchell Stark, just a fraction wide of the stumps.
43 from 34, 3 4s and a 6 as he's dropped next ball. He tried to play the square drive and Kane Richardson has dropped an absolute pie at backward point. That should have been taken at park cricket level. Waist height and Spineley's replay. How would you describe that effort, gentlemen?
Well, a fast bowling effort, but you never like to drop him off your mate of the bowler. He's normally got a good pair of hands, hasn't he, Richo? So, mistake.
Stark in again, and another strange shot as Pereira swipes it away via the aerial route just outside the circle. Ashton Turner from cover does the fielding, and a single is taken. End of the 13th over. Kane Richardson still can't believe he's put down that catch. And on the McDonald's scoreboard, 7 overs remaining. Sri Lanka 3 for 85.
Can you grieve the loss of a tooth? I'm Dr. Theo Spiragus from Bexley Dental, and in my experience, the answer is yes. Losing teeth as an adult can be hugely distressing, but there is a solution. Using the all-on-4 procedure, I can replace the missing teeth within 24 hours. You'll feel better, smile more, and eat with confidence again. It's your life, your smile. I've helped hundreds of people, and I'm confident I can help you. Book your free consultation at bexleydental.com.au.
7 overs remaining. Adam Zampa back into the attack, and what a shot by Kusal Pereira. He goes the reverse, got plenty of it, and, well, deep backward square for the right-hander, but Pereira's a left-hander. But going the reverse, one bounce over the rope, and Sri Lanka move to 3 for 89, and Pereira has 48.
Well, this is the over shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. You might actually go really hard this over and try and bump that score up.
Zampa in again. This time he leans on it defensively and just pokes it out through mid-wicket. They're going to come back for 2. Take on the Agar arm, who threw to the non-striker's end. Awkward bounce for Zampa. I reckon Ashada Fernando had made his ground anyway. And it brings up Kusal Pereira's half-century. 50 from 38 deliveries with 4 fours and a 6. And it has been an excellent knock in a low-scoring series for the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, nicely played, Kusal Pereira. He's been pretty inventive since he's gone out of the crease, but he's run well between the wickets, which has been impressive.
Zampa bowls again. Pereira just pokes this down a long on, and they trot through for 1.
He's had a little bit of luck, of course, but you need that in T20. You need a bit of fortune every now and then when you're swinging the willow as hard out as possible when you're out in the middle.
I'll tell you what, Adam Zampa should have been behind the stumps too there. You know, that was a good piece of fielding out in the deep from Agar. Good running, but he would put pressure on the non-striker there if he got back behind the stumps. You know, might have been a half a chance.
And I think Ashton Agar was actually gesturing to Adam Zampa maybe get behind the stumps.
Zampa in. Ashada Fernando on the back foot, punches out through wide mid-on. And they take a single. 3 for 93, 2 balls remaining in the 14th.
Well, Kusal Pereira is a big jigsaw piece puzzle in how Sri Lanka are going to finish this innings at the back end. So important for him to go on and finish with 80, 85.
Zampa bounces in, wider on the crease, and Pereira clubs it down the ground. Work to do for the man at long on, and he does it pretty well. Trying to pick up who that is as far away. Steve Smith as far away from our commentary position as possible. And it's 3 for 94.
Well, he's got that one back he misfielded before, because that should have been 2. Great fielding.
So, 1 ball remaining in the over. Zampa, an edge from Fernando, and he might pick up a boundary, because third man's inside the circle. And it will race down to the ropes for 4. So a good over for the Sri Lankans. And after 14 on the McDonald's scoreboard, they've moved to 3 for 98. And you can protect your family with the multi-award winning Gate Safe Tri-Latch. The Gate Safe Tri-Latch is the world's first pull gate latch with a dual action safety button that prevents children from using implements to gain entry by pushing up the button. It also features a patented self-latching mechanism and hooked striker that ensures a secure latch every time the gate is closed, even when it's slammed. And it can be key locked for even more protection. Gate Safe latches and hinges are simple to fit and adjust, making them ideal for the DIY handyman to install. You'll find them at all Bunnings warehouses, or check out the Gate Safe range at g8safe.com.au. That's the letter G, number 8, safe.com.au. 3 for 98. Sri Lanka starting to gain some momentum, not all by authentic strokes. And as we often say in this wonderful game of cricket, doesn't say in the scorebook how, just how many. 6 overs remaining. Kane Richardson back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 7. He's bowling to Kusal Pereira, who frees the arms and virtually slogs him all the way along the carpet down to Steve Smith at long on, and they jog through for 1. 3 for 99 with 35 legal deliveries remaining.
Some real intent there from Kusal Pereira. You can sort of see that he's decided this time to take the long handle. Looking forward to seeing how Kane Richardson delivers these two overs he's got left at the back end. Certainly, I think, a role which he's going to play in the future of Australian T20 cricket. It's got a lot of variations and change-ups.
Richardson right arm over from the northern end to Ashado Fernando, who's edging through. He is edging through. He doesn't like the call. He's asked for a DRS immediately. The Australians went up immediately. He opened the blade and tried to run it down to third man.
Review for caught behind. Third umpire to director, we've got a player review for caught behind. Original decision out. Can we start with the front foot, please?
The Australians were super confident.
Oh, I heard a stick from up here. It sounded clear cut. It was away from the body. That's, I think that's a Shane Watson referral.
Yeah, thanks for go through the front.
He was notorious, wasn't he, Buff, in your reign?
He'd love the review. A lot of time, big man. This is going to be interesting, though. This is one of those knuckleballs he likes to bowl, isn't it? And, well, it can't have hit anything else, I don't think. Maybe. This is a scratch or something behind. Hot spot should show up. What's going on here?
Just roll that through for me.
Voice of third umpire Gerard Abood.
Thank you. I've got nothing there. Can we go to RTS, please?
So no hot spot on the bat. Will Snicko save him?
Oh, no. Is there a little Snicko there?
Little mark
on the slightest murmur.
Right there.
Thank you. I've got a slice. Nice beside the bat.
He's going to stay with the on-field, I think. Yeah, he's going to give that out.
We'll go back to the on-field umpire, please. Paul, you're in frame now, please. Please confirm your out decision.
So Fernando on his way, and Sri Lanka lose their fourth wicket with the score on 99. Another one of those pieces of contrary evidence, if you like. Nothing on hotspot, but a little murmur on Snicko. Well, he's on his way.
Well, no. You must know whether you've hit it, though.
You think so? I actually heard the stick from up here, whether it was through the microphones on field, but it was a genuine nick. Kane Richardson was pretty comfortable. Carey behind the stumps. But surely you feel it. You do feel the ball on the bat.
Yeah, a young kid trying to think, I might get away with that because it's so fine. You know, technology this day and age.
Or nothing left to lose. You're in the 14 and a half overs into the game. Getting deep into the tail, you might as well try your luck.
Well, you're in trouble now, though. You get a bad decision, don't you?
Yep.
And Kane Richardson, wicketless in the first two games, and as you two learned gentlemen both mentioned, very, very unlucky. Now has the figures. 2.2 overs, 2 for 11.
He's been good. He's been good all series, hasn't he? He's getting his rewards tonight, and he's got a chance to pick up another wicket. Two left-handers in. Well, I wonder if they'll hold their spinners back right to the end tonight and go with their quicks now.
Yeah, well, they may do. And this is the problem, with Glenn Maxwell sitting out, because this is a great opportunity if he was out there for Aaron Finch to throw him the ball and get a sneaky over in.
New batsman is Shihan Jayasuriya. What a famous name in Sri Lankan cricket. Left-hander as well. I should know whether he's related to Sanath. We might need to check that. Should have checked that before the game. First time he is part of this series, and he pokes at the first one, and he's lucky not to get an edge through to Alex Carey. Richardson bowling with his tail up now. Halfway through his third over. 2 for 11, Sri Lanka 4 for 99. Richardson in again, Jayasuriya plays it like a flick off the back foot, awkwardly off his hip. Picks up a single, and what's going on in the outfield?
It got stuck in Ben McDermott's hand, and he threw it about 10 yards in front of himself.
And it almost filled in David Warner, who had to hit the deck.
Having a good laugh about it on the Spinalese replay there. Just watching it. He's ducked. He's worried about where he's throwing it. That was a comedy of errors.
So the 100 comes up, 4 balls into the 15th over. Pereira back on strike. Short ball. Pereira plays it well. Inside out over cover. Will it reach the rope? It's slowing up with the sand on the surface, and it won't quite get there. Well done by Stark to stop it, but they will run 3. Does save a run though. 4 for 103 after 14.5.
That was fantastic athletic ability from Mitchell Stark. I was watching him track around that boundary, and he just started to gather some serious pace and momentum, and he saved the ball within inches of the Bet 365 rope out there. It was well done.
That was very safe hands with thanks to Protector Aluminium. Ben McDermott's had the safest hands tonight, despite that fielding mishap with 3 catches as Jayasuriya plays a very agricultural shot, like a straight pull down the ground to Finch at mid-off. He'll retain the strike with taking a single, and after 15 on the McDonald's scoreboard, Sri Lanka have reached 4 for 104.
Are low interest rates impacting on your investment returns? It's time to rethink. Rethink Investing creates wealth for clients through the strategic purchase of positively geared, high cash flow commercial property. Industrial properties, retail assets, or office spaces can be a smart investment option that produces significant and long-term return on investment. Rethink your investment options and look to commercial property. Learn more at rethinkinvesting.com.au. Rethink Investing, Australia's #1 commercial buyers agency.
5 overs remaining. Australia sending Sri Lanka into bat. 4 for 104 the tourists have reached. Kusal Perera, the backbone of the innings, with 56 from 42. Ashton Agar back into the attack, and for the first time tonight bowling from the southern end. Jayasuriya leans on the first one defensively and just prods it out through the vacant mid-wicket area for a single.
Well, this is the over, isn't it? I think Pereira will say, right, who can I get better? Can I get Zampa better than Agar? Do I go now? No, Zampa's got one left. And then I've got the quicks.
Agar none for 20 with 5 balls of his allotted 4 remaining. Big appeal for leg before wicket as Pereira tried to sweep him. Umpire Sean Craig unmoved, except now tapping his right knee to indicate a leg bye as the ball harmlessly rolled out towards point.
Well, it has to be now. It's a tricky one. It was nicely executed by Ashton Agar. Just sort of didn't allow him any room on that onside. Free his arms.
Agar round the wicket, left armour to left-hander. Jayasuriya guides it out to deep mid-wicket again for a single.
And Boof, just this is one of the things where I never thought why our spinners don't try and bowl doosras or plan to bowl doosras when this sort of moment comes.
Right now, perfect opportunity if you could do it.
Flatter and quicker from Agar. Pereira seeing them like a watermelon now. Whacks it out to deep mid-wicket for yet another single. It's 4 for 10. Now, the scoreboard and the TV monitor not agreeing at the moment. One has 107, the other has 108. Agar bowls again, and Jayasuriya, what a strange shot. He tried to flick it out through square leg. He got it that fine. It rolled to Ashton Turner at short fine leg, no run.
He's got some work to do, Ashton Turner, on that shoulder. As we saw a spinal ease replay, just hasn't got any sort of momentum in that throwing arm at all.
Jayasuriya using his feet on this occasion and clipping it off his pads out through mid-wicket. They're going to take the second, and that's good running from Jayasuriya. Excellent running, in fact, back for 2 at the end of the over. So 16 in the books, and on the McDonald's scoreboard, Sri Lanka move to 4 for 110.
Things are about to get intense at Dave's workshop. He went to bizcover.com.au and saw how much he could be saving on his public liability insurance. So now he's getting his old policy out of his system. BizCover are Australia's small business insurance specialists, giving tradies like Dave multiple quotes from top insurers. No nasty paperwork, just hassle-free insurance online. Don't pay too much for your business insurance. Head to bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save.
4 for 110, Sri Lanka. 4 overs remaining. Just pause then. I've just got news from the home front. We've just invested in some goldfish a few weeks ago, and the first one's no longer with us. The daughter's just sent through the message. She's devastated.
Oh, it won't be the last. We've had our issues with that as well.
Thanks, Hodgie. Pat Cummins back into the attack, and he might pick up a wicket first ball. An almighty swipe from Pereira. It goes straight up into the night sky. Ashton Turner at cover sits underneath it and takes the simplest of catches. Pereira's fine innings comes to an end at 57, and Sri Lanka 5 for 110 after 16.1. We'll never forget you, Richie. Cummins has 2 for 22.
Well, he tried to flat bat that over mid-on and mid-off. The right idea, just extra pace, extra bounce, straight up, and a simple catch to Ashton Turner. It made it look easy as well, but that's a big wicket for the Australians. That's the difference between maybe 150, 160 to chasing something like 130. So it's a big wicket. He played really well. He was the backbone of their bowling. 57. 126 strike rate, but that's about all they've got at the moment, Sri Lanka.
No, they haven't got much left in the tank. It's going to need a superhuman effort to be able to post a match-winning total from here. Hopefully they see something special at the end, but this bowling unit from Australia looks to be switched on. Their plans look well. They're executing to perfection, and Paddy Cummins, again, hard legs, a good pace. It's just awfully hard to get away.
So 57 from just 45 deliveries, 4 fours and a 6. As Buff told you, a strike rate of 126. Kusal Pereira, easily the top score, individual score for the Sri Lankans in this particular innings. And well picked up, Hodgie. This is actually now a hat-trick ball, given Pat Cummins picked up a wicket from the final ball of his previous over, which was way back in the 12th over. So he's on a hat-trick. Jayasuriya's on strike, and he watches and leaves a ball outside off stump.
Let's let it go through to the keeper as if it was the first ball of the MCG Boxing Day Test match. It's a lovely leave.
That's well, you don't want to be part of a hat-trick. I know.
Well, wouldn't you? You remember the history, don't you? So you might as well try and slap it for 4 or get out.
It was a wide one too. It's the only sort of width that Paddy Cummins has offered all day. Anyway.
2 balls into the 17th over. Jayasuriya 6 from 8. Cummins with him, and that hurried up the left-hander as well. He prodded it away defensively towards backward point. Agar does the fielding, no run.
Well, that's just the difference in conditions. You can see Jayasuriya playing with low hands there, and well, Paddy Cummins is just extracting extra bounce out of this MCG wicket. It's hit the handle, actually. Need to adjust here. There's nothing coming in your half, young man. Camp on the back foot and slay anything square of the wicket.
Cummins charges away from us. Past umpire Blocker Wilson, right arm over, off-pace delivery. Jayasuriya played it pretty well, sweated on it, and just ran it off the face to short third man, and they take a single that's 5 for 111.
Well, can you just build up on you so quick? He's walked to the crease, he's faced 10 balls, and in a T20, if you're playing at the back end, you at least want to be 15 off 10 balls for your team. So it's just that build-up of quality from the Australians, and you need to be aggressive. You need to find that boundary early on in the innings, and then go hard and trust yourself in your ability to score at above 100 runs per 100 balls.
Yeah. Temperature still north of 30 degrees, 30.6. In fact, it's almost 8:30 on a Friday evening in Melbourne. As Cummins is on the runway again. He's in, and they won't get a single there. As Rajapaksa, who's the new batsman, also a left-hander, sliced it to backward point. He was keen to get off the mark, which batsman isn't, but sent back by Jayasuriya, and it stays at 5 for 111. Wickets fell at 3, 33, 76, 99 and 110. So it's been little muddling partnerships, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's going nowhere though.
Yeah.
When you're talking one off the over, they've got to take risks, as you said. This is not helping their cause.
Rajapaksa waits for Cummins, and again he can't get off the mark. He plays with an open blade once more, but Agar at backward point up to the task. And another dot ball. Terrific over from Paddy Cummins. Picked up his second wicket, and after 17, Sri Lanka on the KO scoreboard, 5 for 111.
Another all sports, all-time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.
And the valley roars. Weeks on the outside, moves up into the straight of the 200 metres. It's Weeks in front by a length. Ben Battle's going with it. Weeks 3 corners, Ben Battle. Weeks is stumping off Ben Battle. Cometh the hour. Cometh the legend. Greatness. Weeks has done it. It's F1 Utopia.
Keep listening for more all sports, all-time moments on Macquarie Sports Radio.
Yes, and you'll be able to hear that very recognisable voice, Matt Hill. What a great race caller he is tomorrow on Macquarie Sports Radio. Derby Day from Flemington. And Shane McGuinness, Shane Templeton and the legend Brian Martin, well, Shane Templeton's a legend as well. They'll be spearheading the coverage on Macquarie Sports Radio out at headquarters. Start of the 18th over, and it is Adam Zampa's final over of the night. Jayasuriya takes a single off the first ball, working it out forward of square leg. It's 5 for 112.
Well, there's not sure what's happening there. Just a gentle pat onto the onside for a single. That should be trying to be swept away into the Great Southern Stand, or do whatever you have to do to get the ball over the pickets, or at least into the pickets at this stage.
Well, there's a big gap at cover and a big gap at mid-wicket, so he's got to beat the man at cover and mid-wicket in the circle, and just chip it over, you get two, don't you, to start with.
Zampa to Rajapaksa, who drives confidently out into the covers. Little misfield by Warner, and it allows the batsman to get off the mark, and Davey Boy isn't happy.
Better field on that, Davey. He'd normally pick that up and run him out as well, so a bit disappointed with that, to give another single away. Nicely flighted Rongan.
Over the wicket comes Zampa. Jayasuriya opens the shoulders, gives him the charge, clubs it down the ground. Brilliant fielding down there at long off by who else? Pat Cummins. He is always in the game, and he keeps it to 2.
Well, one mistake from one great player, but butted up from another great player, Paddy Cummins. It's a great fielding unit, this Australian side. When they're up and about, they are phenomenal. As we just have a look at a spinal ease replay, I think he's done his job pretty well there, Paddy Cummins. Sean Craig's just checking to see whether that's a boundary or not, but we'll find that play will continue.
Isn't this an excellent crowd? Just scanning around the Cavanagh Stadium that this mighty Coliseum is. It is a big Sri Lankan contingent here tonight. We always know they turn out in numbers here in Melbourne. Great crowd on a very warm Friday night. Jayasuriya, he works it off his pads, and he was almost out by Finch, who fielded well at mid-wicket, trying to throw down the stumps at the non-strikers end. 5 for 116.
Well, I reckon there'd be 30,000, Bruce.
Close to it.
It's a decent crowd.
Certainly mid to high 20s.
Yeah. Good support here. I'd love to see a couple of boundaries off these next 2 deliveries.
Zampa once more, and Rajapaksa tries to play a little late cut. He missed. Carey gloved it well and then whipped the bails off, and a polite inquiry for stumped to Blocker Wilson, which was turned down.
Well,
or are they going upstairs to have a look?
No, they're having a look upstairs. This might be one of those replays which is a complete waste of people's time.
Thank you, fair delivery. We go through to the best side on spot, please.
Just hope for his sake, the batter's sake, that he hasn't got lazy with the back foot. No.
Just go to the other side for it, please.
That won't be out. I don't know why they're going to the other side. We'll get half-time scoring in the A-League. Beeve, Sydney FC 2, Newcastle United Jets 1. And in the rugby playoff for bronze, it's 14-7 to New Zealand against Wales after 24 minutes.
What I loved is that they're failing to show that show in New Zealand. They've boycotted it on the national TV. It's brilliant, yep.
Always wondered about the third place playoff, unless, like in the Olympics, when there's a bronze medal at stake. But why in the World Cup?
Waste of time. There's a winner and then that's it.
That's it, yeah. The third game, that's just TV, isn't it?
I was going to say 3 goals in the first half in that A-League match. That's good going. What about that Liverpool Arsenal 5 Caribou Cup match the other night? Oh, jingo says the next delivery is well, there might be more than a single. No, he'll be sent back. That was Rajapaksa. There'll be an overthrow. It's all happening. Rajapaksa pushed out towards mid-on. Long on was back on the rope. Zampa had to go scampering across. Stumps were thrown down at the non-striker's end. Ricocheted away towards mid-off, and they eventually took 2. So at the end of the over, with 2 remaining, Sri Lanka on the KO scoreboard, 5 for 118. And finding the right business insurance shouldn't be like batting on a sticky wicket. Get on the front foot and compare, insure and save with BizCover, Australia's small business insurance specialist. Head to bizcover.com.au or give them a call, and within minutes you can easily compare multiple quotes from some of Australia's leading insurers. Plus, BizCover offers flexible monthly payment options and no paperwork, just fast coverage. coverage. Need more proof that BizCover are the small business insurance specialists? Just look at the scoreboard. BizCover has made insurance easy for over 90,000 Australian businesses and counting, offering insurance options for over 6,000 occupations. Hit your business insurance for 6. Compare, insure and save with BizCover today. Great supporters of Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket. BizCover scoreboard, 5 for 118, Sri Lanka. 2 overs remaining, the penultimate over to be bowled by Mitchell Starc.
Well done, Bruce. It was a big minute and a half for you there, mate, but well done, you got that through. Mitchell Starc, he will get it full and straight with the odd bouncer.
Left arm over, Jai Surya on strike, and he plays it neatly, just rolls the wrists and turns it out behind square. They take the first quickly, but no chance of a second as McDermott fields brilliantly in the deep.
Well, you're kind, Bruce, playing it gently into the onside, or elegantly. That needs to be
whipped hard.
That needs to be just tried to be pumped towards the fence somehow. This is not a time for nurdling into the onside.
They've got to try and get to 150, and they're in a perfect position to do so. Then the rest of them just come in and knocked it around. 12 off 14 and 3 off 5. You can't afford to do that. You've got to take the game on. Back end.
Starc to Rajapaksa. Well, he does take it on. And has he presented McDermott with a 4th catch? No! He's gone the journey.
Well, about time. That's what we talked about. Should have done that in the ball before, really.
Absolutely.
That's what you wanted.
That is a shot of the day, thanks to Westpac, finally.
That is
amazing.
A really good shot. And that's what can happen if you actually take the game on. I know he's young, he'll get some confidence from that. Just slightly on the leg side, and then just help him on his way with the pace. And that's what we have to do with the Mitchell Starc. If he gets it slightly wrong, you can cash in that area.
Superb flick off the toes from Rajapaksa. Picks up a maximum. Starc to try again. Rajapaksa helps this on the way down a fine leg for 4 more. 10 from 2 balls. Where has this been? 5 for 129 Sri Lanka with 9 balls remaining in their allotted 20 overs. And Rajapaksa in a hurry is 13 from 7.
Well, that's better. Leg side for Mitchell Starc. Hasn't got the radar right in the first couple of deliveries there.
Oh, it was nicely flicked, wasn't it? It was there to be hit. But that's what the Sri Lankans need. A little bit more intent.
Starc motors in again, past umpire Wilson. And Rajapaksa plays a square drive. They'll take the first quickly. Will they come back for the second? They are going to take it on. Rajapaksa struggling to make his ground. Throw was just a little high. I still reckon they might check upstairs as Agar heaved it in from the outfield at the city end, and Carey had to take a while to drag it down from eye-line height onto the bails.
Well, certainly the crowd's come alive here at the MCG anyway. You've seen the Sri Lankan unit up the ante. We want to see more of this, a little bit more from a long way out. As we watch the Spinal Ease replay, and looks comfortably home. So Mitchell Starc in again. 12
from the last 3 deliveries. Starc in again. Yorker length. Rajapaksa digs it out of the block hole with a firm drive to Finch at mid-off on the edge of the circle, and they take 1.
It's been a fraction leg side all night. Mitchell Starc to the left hand. It hasn't quite adjusted tonight. He's got a couple of balls to finish well, or 1 ball to finish well.
He's conceded 14 from this over, 1 for 32 from 3.5 for Mitchell Starc, who picked up a wicket in the opening over of the match. He bowled at Jai Surya, and he bowled him! Jai Surya premeditated. He shaped up to try and lap over the keeper's head, and he has lost his leg peg. Got all jumbled up. He might, we need to see the Spinal Ease replay. He might have even been nutmegged then. That might have actually gone through his legs. But either way, the castle's been disturbed, and Sri Lanka is 6 for 132 with 6 balls remaining.
Full and straight from Mitchell Starc, generally gets the job done. And look, that's what you do at the back end. You try and invent someone, but Jai Surya, 12 or 15 balls, probably went, which is a good thing, good option to try and go over the top. Just failed to execute. If you're going to try, and you've got to get in behind the ball, get your head behind the ball, and make sure you get bat on it. There's Lassie Falinga, the captain, walks to the crease for a big cheer from the, well, I can't say local crowd, but they certainly are vocal crowd.
They're very vocal. I mean, the interesting thing with that is, you're right, you try to almost reverse lap it. It's pretty hard to do that to a guy that bowls 150 plus legs. You're more likely to actually go the other way and actually get underneath it and try and ramp it on the leg side. So, a little strange one there.
It was the last ball of the over. We'll stay with the coverage. Just the one over remaining of Sri Lanka's allotted 20, and it'll be bowled by Kane Richardson, who's been superb tonight. 3 overs, 2 for 16, including 9 dot balls. So half of his deliveries haven't been scored off, and he's picked up the wickets of Kusal Mendes and also Ashada Fernando. 6 for 132. Rajapaksa is on strike. He has 16 from 9. Lasith Malinga, the skipper, is at the non-striker's end. And Richardson from round the wicket at the southern end begins the final over. Rajapaksa drives solidly out through the covers to McDermott, sweeping on that offside boundary, and they take a single.
Well, it's a great execution of Yorker. First up from Kane Richardson. He was around the wicket to the left-hander. He goes back over the wicket to Lasith Malinga, the new player on strike. And it's quite it's a defensive field from Aaron Finch. He's just discussed this with his fast bowler now. What sort of field he's going to employ. He's brought fine leg up, square leg back. Mid wicket just pushes out to the fence now, long on. Aaron Finch himself moves back to mid-off, and Mitchell Stark, who's daydreaming down there at third man, makes his way into the circle. He's been impressive tonight, Kane Richardson. Might see a lot of. I think he'll show a lot of change of paces to Malinga early.
Over the wicket he comes. Malinga steps away and gets plenty of it. He has smashed it back down the ground for 6. A straight pull shot that went 12 rows back. The Sri Lankan fans are delirious. It feels like we're interrupting a dance party at the moment. 6 for 139. No sign of Lasith Malinga. He just went whack.
Well, it's shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance, but I almost reckon he's too predictable there for Lasith. He should just go. He's going to step away and free his arms. He knows he's going to bowl a slow ball. He's played a lot of cricket, so get it full and straight.
Richardson in again. He does on this occasion. Dug out by Malinga. He won't beat the infield. It's fielded there. Might have been Turner on the edge of the circle at cover, and they take just 6 for 140.
And I'm basically saying that, OGM beef and listeners, because Lasith Malinga's played a lot of T20 cricket. He knows he's going to bowl that delivery. So sometimes when you've got a guy that's played so much cricket, you're better to go the other way. Just play the safe option, go full and straight, knowing he's setting up for the slow ball.
Richardson in again, round the wicket. Almighty swipe by Jayasuriya. Might have struck him on the shoulder. We'll have to wait to see if there was any bat, an edge up onto the shoulder. No, Sean Craig taps his right knee to signal a leg by. 6 for 141 with 2 balls remaining.
Well, he rubbed his arm way too early. Then if you're a batter, you don't rub it till the actual umpire gives his decision, so you might sneak a little extra run. Good execution from Kane Richardson there. Just cramping the left-hander up for rumours. Well, let's see what his execution is. Full and straight, the Yorker is what Darren Lehman's calling for to Lasith Malinga.
Richardson in. He does go full and straight, and in fact goes between the stumps and the batsman as Malinga was determined to stay leg side of the delivery. Once more, he was looking to plonk that somewhere out onto Swan Street. Almost swung himself off his feet.
Yeah, it's better bowling, it's smarter bowling. You know, don't take too much of a risk here. Get the Yorker right. They've got to change the field for the last ball, so they're thinking, right, let's try something different. Third man back. Might be wide Yorker this time, which is a good ploy. Don't mind that at all.
And we've been told via the monitor that huge 6 earlier in the over went 87 metres into the Great Southern Stand. Here we go, last ball of Sri Lanka's 20th over, and once again he gets it right, the Yorker. Malinga takes another huge swing inside edge. It rolls away on the leg side. They trot through for 1. Richardson does his own fielding, finishes with the excellent figures of 2 for 25 from his 4 overs, and Sri Lanka have posted 6 6 for 142. Much better performance after managing only 99 in Adelaide. That was chasing, and 117 batting first in Brisbane on Wednesday night. 6 for 142. The backbone of the innings, Kusal Perera, with 57 from 45 deliveries. Is it going to be enough? You would think not. But still, they have at least posted a score to give their attack, led by their skipper, Lasith Malinga, something to bowl at. We'll quickly run through the scorecard. Dick Weller went for a golden duck. Court McDermott bowled Stark for the last ball of the first over. Mendes, Court McDermott bowled Richardson for 13. Avishka Fernando, Court McDermott bowled Cummins for 20, was 3 for 76, and McDermott had taken the catches for the first 3 wickets to fall. Ashado Fernando, Court Carey bowled Richardson for 6. Kusal Perera, Court Turner bowled Cummins for 57, and Jaya Surya, last man out, bowled Stark for 12. Malinga finished not out 8. Rajapaksa finished not out 17. There were 9 extras. Sri Lanka 6 for 142, a run rate of 7.1. And quickly the bowling figures before some analysis from Darren Lehman and Brad Hodge as we roll into our innings break with thanks to Ram Trucks. Mitchell Stark, 4 overs, 2 for 32. Kane Richardson, 4 overs, 2 for 25. Pat Cummins, 4 overs, 2 for 23. And tonight, for the first time, the spinners went wicketless. Ashton Agar, 4 overs for 24. And Adam Zampa, 4 overs for 30.
Well, I think you summed it up beautifully. The spinners, they controlled that, although they didn't go for too many boundaries. They could have taken a bit more of a risk. 142 is probably still below par on this wicket. It's a 160 plus wicket. It does get better, a bit of juice, skids on nicely. So Australia will be very comfortable where they sit. I'm pleased that Australians actually put up a good fight. They should have got probably another 15 or 20 if they went a bit earlier and took a risk and got to that 160 to give them a real chance. And it'll be the new ball bowling Malinga how it goes there, and Kumaru comes in tonight. But Australia, very polished performance again. 142 shouldn't be enough, but cricket's a funny game, Hodgie.
Old adage, runs on the board. There they are, 142 for them for the Sri Lankan unit, and it has been their batting unit which has been under extreme pressure, and let's see if they can rebound with their bowling unit. They got some quality in there. Lasith Malinga, of course, they got some tricks with their spinners, but it was the Kusal Perera show, really. He played pretty well for his 50 odd runs plus, and got him to a total of 142 with some late hitting there from Lasith Malinga. Really could have been a lot more, could have been a lot better, but this is a unit which has been struggling for form, struggling for confidence, and you never know. On another day that could propel up to about 165 or more, but they're going to have to make inroads into this Australian top order. Aaron Finch, David Warner in particular is in good form, and we'll know Glenn Maxwell, of course, today, so it could open up something for the middle order. So an opportunity for the Sri Lankans. Runs on the board. There's a big crowd on offer to offer their support to Beaver.
Certainly is. Well, Sri Lanka has taken just the 3 wickets so far in this series. Australia 2 for 233 in Adelaide batting first, and then 1 for 118 chasing at the Gabba on Wednesday night. And that 1 wicket was a golden duck to Aaron Finch in the first over, and then a partnership of 117 between Warner and Smith. So early inroads are going to need to be made by this Sri Lankan attack if they are to defend 142 and win the dead rubber. Remembering Australia's already wrapped up the series 2-0. Just before we take a break, Hodgie, as well, in terms of Sri Lanka getting a little busier tonight, dot balls for Australia this series. Laurie Colliver providing us all the key numbers. The great man, best cricket statistician in the country. 66 dot balls in Adelaide that Australia bowled in Sri Lanka's 20 overs, or 19 overs they were bowled out in. 48 dot balls at the Gabba, and just the 40 dot balls tonight. It's still too many. A third of the deliveries not being scored off, but they have progressively got better.
Yeah, 40 is generally about a number that a bowling unit actually strive for, and that's what you want as a coach or as a management group, to see improvement and identify areas where you can improve. They certainly haven't got the power game to be able to clock the balls consistently over the rope, so you're going to have to find another method, and running between the wickets, as Davey Warner pointed out, was so important to his success in Adelaide, and they've obviously taken that on board. It's a big ground here at the MCG. There's plenty of opportunity for 1s and 2s, but turning the strike over, it's a part and parcel of just basic skills in cricket, and they've done that pretty well, which is positive.
So we will take a break. Sri Lanka sent into bat by Aaron Finch and posted 6 for 142. Top scorer Kusal Pereira, 57 from 45 deliveries with 4 fours and a 6. 3 Australian bowlers took 2 wickets apiece. All the quicks, Mitchell Stark, Kane Richardson and Pat Cummins. This is our innings break with thanks to the Ram trucks. Bigger is definitely better. The Ram 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast. Go to ramtrucks.com.au. Don't forget game 1 of the 3-match series against Pakistan will be on Sunday afternoon from the Sydney Cricket Ground. Julian King along with Ian Chappell and Darren Lehman, your commentary team for that particular match. And it's racing action tomorrow, Derby Day from Flemington. Shane McGuinness heading up the call team, legendary racing journalists / broadcasters in Brian Martin and Shane Templeton along with Tim Gill. Your team there tomorrow out at Flemington for the running of the Victoria Derby. 4 Group 1s, in fact, from Flemington tomorrow. And, of course, updates as well from the Golden Eagle at Rose Hill. So a big weekend of live action on Macquarie Sports Radio. But game 3 here tonight at the MCG. And Sri Lanka 6 for 142 batting first. Australia with their run chase about 15 minutes away. Have to score it just over 7 per over to make it a clean sweep, a 3-0 series victory. We will take a break. Men's Gillette T20 International Series action from the Melbourne Cricket Ground, proudly brought to you by BizCover and McDonald's on Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
Another all sports, all-time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.
And Egmont, little 1-2, onside, Lacazo. Great ball there, Super up the double. There's the backflip. Australia head over heels about this team, about this player, about this superstar.
Clinical play from the Matildas. Sam Kerr, oh, she's special.
Keep listening for more all sports, all-time moments on Macquarie Sports Radio.
As a child, losing a tooth is part of growing up. But as an adult, losing your teeth can be devastating. I'm Dr. Theo Spirakis from Bexley Dental, and I understand the grief you might be feeling. The good news is, using the latest all-on-4 procedure, I can give you back your smile and get you eating with confidence. It's your life, your smile. With 25 years experience and over a decade with all-on-4, I'm confident I can help. Book your free consultation at bexleydental.com.au.
If you love great beef, you should only be eating Watervale beef. Premium grass and grain-fed from the best grazing country. Watervale beef is the most consistently delicious beef you'll ever taste. You won't find Watervale beef at the big supermarkets. It's only brought to your butcher by Breakout River Meats. So ask your local butcher for the best. Ask for Watervale beef. The difference is in the eating. Watervale beef. Try some today.
This Movember, here's to the straggly moustaches, the lopsided ones, the itchy, ratty, ferrety ones, the, hey, I look good with this ones, the ones grown by Dad, the ones grown for Dad. Because whatever you grow, we'll save a bro. Sign up now at Movember.com.
How are our kids going to afford a place in Sydney?
Well, they won't be able to. That's the problem. But I've got an idea. Why don't we buy a place in Brisbane? Help them get a foot in the door.
Okay, so we buy in Brisbane now.
Or help them buy.
And with rental returns and growth, we all end up with a tidy investment.
Aha. And Brisbane is still affordable.
Helping the kids get into property? Is Sydney beyond the budget? Invest in Brisbane.
Now that's a great idea.
Visit brisbaneinvest.com.au. No one likes an incomplete job, so why do one when hiring? When looking for the best candidates, make sure you're not missing any opportunities. On Indeed, it's free to post, so you've got nothing to lose, and you could find the perfect candidate for your business. No hiring search is complete without Indeed. Post jobs free on Indeed.com/free. Terms, conditions, quality standards and usage limits apply.
The moment to buy a Volvo is now. Purchase the MY20 XC60 T5 Momentum from $67,990 drive away. Ends 31st December while stocks last at participating dealers. Excludes fleet, government and rental buyers. T's and C's at volvocars.com.au.
Macquarie Sports Radio.
You have to be kidding me. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
All sports, all the time.
And we appreciate your company on this Friday night from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Sri Lanka asked to bat first by Aaron Finch, 6 for 142. Kusal Perera, 57 from 45. Good crowd in as well. Massive Sri Lankan contingent here in Melbourne, and they've turned out in numbers. Crowd, it looks around about the 30,000 mark in this mighty stadium. What a sporting weekend we have ahead of us, not just here in Australia, but around the globe. Of course, tomorrow night, the World Cup final of rugby between England and South Africa. Can you believe it, gentlemen? The gentleman I refer to, Darren Lehman, Brad Hodge. If you've joined us late, my name's Bruce Eva, and England possibly could win 2 World Cups in the one calendar year, cricket and rugby.
Well, they could. They drew one. They drew.
New Zealand
they did win one, and as we speak of that bronze medal game at half-time, New Zealand 28-10, so they're dominating against the Welsh, and it's one of those games you think, well, why would they play it? But yeah, England could, you're exactly right, they could win a couple of World Cups, and it's going to be a fascinating game tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to watching that. But this game, 142, it's probably not going to be enough. They'll have to bowl well with the new ball. Malinga will have to swing it and get that early wicket like he did at the Gabba. If he does that and they get Warner out early, then they can put some pressure on the middle order, which haven't had much of a hit. So that'll be the challenge for them.
That's the secret, isn't it? To try and see the back of Aaron Finch, who's got a pretty good record at the MCG, as is Davey Warner as well. So if they can dislodge those two within the first sort of 14 balls and then expose either Steve Smith, Ben McDermott coming in after a year's absence. I think I read today that this is his first time back in the colours, the green and gold colours, after his last performance out here. So Ashton Turner hasn't done anything. The late to middle order hasn't had a stick. So it's an opportunity. Lassie Malinga will have to be switched on today. He'll have to give a quality performance, a captain's performance, and show this young bowling group they've got the extra pacer in today, or got plenty of options. So it could go either way for them.
Well, they've gone bowler heavy this game, haven't they? They have all series, really. They've played one less batter, and it probably hasn't worked the first couple of games, but they've got a total they can actually defend. 142, traditionally it won't be enough, but look, funny things happen in T20 cricket. If you get those 2 wickets early, you put pressure on the likes, as you said. You know, Smith's in good form, obviously, but Turner hasn't had a hit. McDermott's coming back in. He'll want to impress. Then you've got Carey and Agar, so they've got to get early wickets. If they have them 2 or 3 down, say at the 8 over mark, they're in the game. You know, but if they don't get a wicket in the first 6, she'll be a canter again for Australia, I think.
It will be, absolutely. And they all look to be in pretty good touch too. But just what I want to see from the Sri Lankans, just to compete. Even though it's a dead rubber game, you want to start to build some momentum. They haven't had a good run of form lately, so good opportunity to try and compete tonight and drag this out as long as possible if you can't win. But they've certainly got an opportunity to try and create a bit of havoc tonight at the MCG.
And around the grounds again in the A-League, Sydney FC have scored, and it's 3-1 against the Newcastle Jets. So 2 goals in the A-League tonight. It's been a bit sparse in the A-League with goals this year so far. So it's a 3-1, and Sydney obviously with that goal line technology might have won last week in the derby but didn't. So it's around the grounds. 28-10 at half-time in that bronze medal game in the World Cup. As I said, New Zealand well in front. So we're getting close to resumption of play here. Looking forward to the start of the game. Finch and Warner, they come out blazing like they have in the previous games, although Finch got strangled down the leg side, Malinga at the Gabba. And this batting, will be tested a little bit with 142, but they won't fear it too much.
7 minutes until the run chase begins, which will be 9:04 local time. 8:04 up in Brisbane, and 6:04 if you're listening over in Perth. 6 for 142 posted by Sri Lanka. Of course, game 1 in the next 3-match series begins in just under 48 hours. Australia and Pakistan Sunday at the Sydney Cricket Ground. You'll be part of the commentary team, Buff, along with Chappelli and Julian King. It's always a question fraught with danger when you say, what do we expect from Pakistan? Because for years, who knows what we're going to get from Pakistan. We might get blinding brilliance, or we might get a pretty mediocre performance. It's one of the magical quirks of Pakistani cricket.
I think we're both both of them throughout the 3-game series. You'll get a poor game somewhere, some brilliance the other game, and they might snatch it in the third or something like that. That's what it's going to be like. So, but they in form. They won their first game. They won it quite comfortably, obviously against the chairman's 11 side. And Shadab Khan's a very good leg spinner. He got 3 for 30. They've got some young talent there. New coach, so they'll be in a different direction. Misbah has sort of formulated his coaching team, and they've dropped their former captain, Sarfraz, which is an interesting one because I think he's a really good player. There's obviously politics wherever you go.
There must be, yes.
There's a lot of politics in Pakistan cricket, as we know, but on their day they are brilliant. There's no doubt about that. But when they're bad, they are bad. So let's hope A-grade Pakistan come to play, and if they do, it'll be a fascinating series.
It will be, and they've got an attack which can actually do some damage to this Australian unit, which that's their strength. They might not have the power, or they have got the power and depth. It's just whether you said on the day that it's going to turn out and actually put that package together. But no, the T20s roll on, and it's fascinating to actually get a good stretch of T20s of international sort of cricket because we don't see a lot of it. We get little spasmodic spots here and there, but no, this is good.
I'm glad you brought up the new coach. It's a nice segue. I want to ask you both a very important question right after this important message, and that is the crack of cricket bat on ball and the cheers of the crowd for every 6 are familiar sounds during summer, as are the clap of thunder, the crackle of bushfires, and the drum of hailstones bouncing on your roof. So it's important to be prepared and protect your home and belongings. Westpac Home Insurance can help, covering your home against all that summer brings. And when you get a quote and buy online, you can save up to 25% on your premium. Just search Westpac Home Insurance to find out more. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the product disclosure statement to see if this insurance is right for you. Westpac Home Insurance, again, proudly partnering Macquarie Sports Radio for our summer of cricket. In the coaching ranks, gentlemen, there was movement in the Australian setup during the week, and a man you both know very well, a very good friend of yours as well, Hodgie, Andrew McDonald. Ronnie, now the senior assistant to Justin Langer, which creates an opening both as the Victorian head coach and the Melbourne Renegades head coach, who of course won the Big Bash last year in the first Derby final we saw. A good move, a move that was probably always going to happen, and I wonder who's going to get those 2 positions, or maybe only 1 position. I'd hope that someone like a David Saker might be well and truly in the mix to return home.
Yeah, well, possibly. I mean, one of the things is that I think it's a great move for Australian cricket for Andrew McDonald to join that ranks. I mean, he's a well-respected coach. He's got great results, and there's been a lot of talk around his success and what he's brought to not only Victoria but outside markets as well. He rebuilt Leicestershire. He's been employed now at Rajasthan Royals. He's doing the 100 with you, Buff. So obviously clearly well-respected, and I think it's, Justin's probably been searching for a trusted, loyal assistant, once taking over from you, but there's a transition period, so he's just building his team nicely, and opportunity now opens up. But he'll be a marvellous addition to the Australian unit.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's fantastic. He's obviously done all the hard yards behind the scenes, and I reckon he's a fantastic coach. I've been very impressed with how he's gone about it with Victoria, the Renegades, and obviously now Australia as assistant coach. The interesting thing is, they've allowed him, as the fireworks going off here and the crowd are getting excited about the Aussies batting. They're actually working out the dark, and Sri Lanka are about to come out led by Lasith Malinga. But the interesting thing, he's allowed to do the 100 and the IPL, and he's a senior assistant. So I know he's got a young family. He's going to be away 365 days now. It's going to really be a tester for him over the first couple of years, which he'll handle with great decorum. He's a fantastic tactical coach and loves his players. He'll do it really well. It'll be a challenge on how much he can keep doing when you're a senior assistant and taking it leading. Because Justin Langer will take some time off at various tours.
Yes.
Which then, when that happens, you would think that Andrew McDonald's going to take over the head coaching role at some stage. So it's going to be a busy few years for him, but he'll do it well.
Very busy, very busy. I asked Keely if she wants to shift over the kids and move into Black Rock with us. I'll look after the family while he's gone.
So, the Australian run chase is only seconds away from getting underway. Aaron Finch and David Warner striding out to the middle. They've across the fielding restriction circle, just trying to work out who is actually going to be on strike. Lasith Malinga is going to open the bowling from the northern or members stand end of the MCG. And it certainly looks like it is going to be captain to captain. Aaron Finch striding purposefully to the stumps at the southern end. So 6 for 142. Sri Lanka posting their best score of the series. But Australia, well, they've barely been troubled with the stick. As we said at the start of this innings break, with thanks to the Ram trucks, Australia losing only 3 wickets across the first 2 games. As our innings break comes to an end with thanks to Ram trucks, bigger is definitely better. The Ram 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast. Go to ramtrucks.com.au for more details, and it's great to have them on board this summer as well. What a summer it is going to be. T20s between Australia and Pakistan begin on Sunday. 2 tests against Pakistan, 3 against New Zealand. First time the Kiwis will be involved in the Boxing Day and New Year's tests for over 30 years. All of the Big Bash action. And, of course, at the tail end of the summer, the build-up to the Women's World T20. And then, if you haven't had enough, by the middle of March, we've got the Chapel Hadley series, Australia and New Zealand, which actually clashes with the opening round of the NRL and the Grand Prix. It never stops.
It certainly doesn't, but here we go.
So Malinga at the top of his mark. And will be this... Well, it shouldn't be the last time we see him bowling here in Australia, because he wants to lead them in the World Cup next year. He's in, bang on target first ball as Finch is forward, defending quietly out towards a straightish mid-wicket, and Ashada Fernando does the fielding. No run.
Well, that's a nice start. Bit of swing there as well. That's what it'll do. Needs to do early, try and pick up an early wicket. They'll actually probably just sit on Malinga. I reckon the 2 openings for the first over, they know they can really do some damage at the other end, and that's going to be the key. Has he got a partner in crime tonight, the skipper, for the other end?
Slip in place, that's Kusal Mendes. Malinga in with the famous slinging action, and a carbon copy of the first delivery. Finch across his stumps and defends out to Ashada Fernando at mid-wicket, and another dot ball.
Well, he's spot on the mark, which is good from the captain. He's got a lead from the front. Aaron Finch quite watchful. Probably played against Lasith Malinga many times now, Aaron Finch, so he knows the tricks, knows what he's trying to execute, and he will be watchful, I think, early on. He knows the danger which Malinga can bring, and Aaron Finch himself knows what damage he can do against everyone else, as you pointed out, Darren.
64 from 36 in game 1 for the Australian skipper. Golden duck in game 2. He's off the mark here. Tickles it off his pads out through square leg. And while they run the first hard, they didn't attempt the second. Interesting throw back into the stumps. That was heaved into the turf when it could almost been lobbed back on the full from only 25 metres away. It's none for 1.
Well, David Warner's in good touch. Yeah, I was talking to Finchy a while back, and he said there's no actual structure to decide who actually takes the first ball.
Well, I do know when I was coach, they just shared it. They just shared it, but I think sometimes they forget. You know, they just see who's... I think you'll find more structure depending on if it's a spinner bowling. If it's an off-spinner, Finchy would definitely take strike. If it's a left-armer or a wrist spinner, then Davey would take strike. But most of the time when it's the quicks and they've set up both the same, they just alternate a little bit.
Yet to be dismissed in the series. Player of the match in both games 1 and game 2. 100 not out in Adelaide, 60 not out in the small run chase in Brisbane. Malinga with him, and Warner's driving, and it's a crowd catch. It was a firm drive into the pitch on the bounce to Kusal Mendes, who's come out from slip. We saw this Wednesday night at the Gabba, and he's basically in at silly mid-off, or virtually standing alongside the non-striker 20 yards away.
Yeah, he's parallel to Aaron Finch. He's having a chat to him there. So, obviously a position that they've worked out. David likes to play straight early. They're going to target the stumps and pitch the ball up.
5th ball of the first over. Malinga runs away from us. Past blocker Wilson. 2 straight and full, and Warner clips it off his toes behind square. And that will be a very easy 2. None for 3. as Warner gets off the mark.
And again, just straight away, as soon as they hit the bat, David Warner set off for a second, like really good running. He knew straight away that as soon as that ball trickles past the 30-metre circle, there is so much vast real estate out there at the MCG. It's easy twos, plenty on offer at this large ground.
Earlier today, T20 international action across the ditch. England defeated New Zealand by 7 wickets with 9 balls to spare. There's Malinga to complete the first over, off-pace delivery, and Warner opens the blade and pushes defensively to backward point, and there is no run. KO scoreboard after 1. Australia chasing 143, a none for 3.
Oh, the Blind Factory!
Here's a little song about spring. Oh, spring! It's very little, actually. Unlike the Blind Factory spring sale, which is huge. It's bigger than Ben-Hur, only without the chariots. But they do have Romans, and blinds, of course. Oh, here's a good joke. What do you call a blind Roman? Appius Claudius. I don't know why that's clever, but apparently it is. Look it up.
The Blind Factory.
Oh, yes. Spring sale on now. Call 13-BLINDS.
So we're finally going to see Lahuru Kamara, who bowled so well in Canberra a bit over a week ago in the Prime Minister's 11 match, struck Dan Christian flush in the sternum from a steep rising delivery, but surprisingly left out of games 1 and 2, the quickest of the Sri Lankan bowlers. And on a quick pitch tonight here at the MCG, let's see how he goes, Buff, from the Great Southern Stand-in.
Well, we've been waiting for it. We've been calling it. He's slippery. Don't know what he's like with a new ball. He's just sort of might swing it away, but he's heavy.
He's in. Oh, and he hurries Finch up first ball. And there's a big appeal for leg before wicket. Sri Lankans can't believe it's been turned down. And if there wasn't an inside edge, well, now Sean Craig has made a mistake here because he's tapped to say that it is a leg by, which he's not meant to do until they decide whether they're going to go upstairs or not. Having seen that, the Sri Lankans have said, we want to go upstairs.
It's interesting, isn't it? For LBW, original decision not out.
What if he did it?
At the front foot, please.
That would be funny, actually.
The umpire is meant to wait for the decision by the fielding side.
Thank you. Fair delivery. Could we go through to front on spin vision, please?
This will be really close if he's hitting him on the back leg. Because it's skidded through.
Oh, gee, it looked close.
Thank you. It doesn't appear to be back there. Can we confirm that with onside hotspot, please?
It's going to be umpire's call, isn't it? Top of the stumps, which amazes me. I mean, Darren Berry and I go right through this all the time.
There's nothing on the bat there. Can we just confirm that again with RTS, please?
The stumps,
it has to be out.
It has to be out.
If it knocks the bails off, it's out.
Just roll that back for me.
I think it's going to be umpire's call because of height. I reckon he's on his tippy toes there.
Nothing on the spike as it goes past.
Well, I mean, he's clearly beaten the batter. As a bowler, you'd be pretty disappointed if this is given not out.
Impact in line. Wickets, umpire's call. Umpire's call.
There we go.
To the on-field umpire, please.
Darren Berry, where are you? He'll be on the phone. He'll be tweeting us at Macquarie Sports. He won't be happy with that.
We hate to say I told you so, but we've waited one delivery to see what Kamara can do as well. How he did not play in Adelaide or Brisbane.
You can say it. We told you so, Sri Lanka.
Ridiculous.
Why have you not been playing, young man? I mean, the next 4 balls can go for boundaries, of course, but the extra pace he beat Aaron Finch on the inside. And really, they're the tough ones, isn't it, with the umpire's call? I mean, that's
straight.
It's knocking the bowls off, isn't it?
That's what you have to do. Aaron Finch is very fortunate there. It's one of those ones where, regardless of the technology, as a player, you know you're pretty much in a lot of trouble.
Well, he wouldn't have reviewed that, Aaron Finch, I don't reckon.
No chance.
So that sums up to me, you know, that's pretty close.
And they're going on the attack here, the Sri Lankans, with the extra pace of Kamara. Warner now on strike because they ran the leg by a slip, and it's a very fine gully, probably about a 4th slip, in fact, in Ashada Fernando. Kusal Mendes at first slip. Kamara in, Warner drives vigorously, but straight to the man at mid-off, who is the Sri Lankan captain, and there is no run. And all of a sudden, with that extra pace, there's a bit of excitement in the air.
Well, that's what you need, isn't it? Absolutely. You've got 140 on the board. You see some ball speed coming around. This is what's been lacking from the Sri Lankan unit. You see it delivered at 144 kilometres an hour. 147.5. When you're a captain, to have any sort of ball speed up your sleeve is absolute gold.
And that last ball to Warner was 147.5, and he's gone right through him with the next delivery, 148.8, squared Warner up, and in fact, Pereira has dropped the ball and hurt his hand, the wicketkeeper. It wasn't edged, but he's ripped the right glove off and shaking his hand. That was a searing delivery from Lahuru Kamara, and Warner knew very little about it.
Well, that's what they've been missing, haven't they? Imagine that. Malinga and this guy bowling the first. Yes, they didn't make enough runs in their first. They wouldn't have got one in Adelaide, but at least they would have something that might have got an early wicket in Brisbane with the pace and the bounce of the Gabba wicket.
And we finally see some energy in the fielding unit as well with some ball speed.
Raw pace from Kamara. In again, short ball. Warner dispatches it on the back foot with an aerial pull shot out over mid-wicket for 4.
Shot of the day with thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. Well, that's just the class player. Absolute stood there tall. It was banged into the wicket, and Davey Warner just absolutely crunched it forward on mid-wicket. Didn't even bother taking off for a single. That's a quality shot from a quality player.
None for 8. And this first over from Ara, which has still got 2 balls to go. That's the first runs he's conceded off the bat. And it's had a bit of everything, and it has been genuinely exciting. He's on his way again. Steams past umpire Sean Craig, and Warner has to defend, but he will pick up a single. Forced onto the back foot, just pokes it down towards mid-on, and it's 9 without loss.
Good running too. Just the fielder was just caught on the circle. There was a change in field. The square leg, or the mid-wicket had gone back to a deep square leg and opened up the gap on the onside, and Davey Warner just bunted it in there, and that's what the Australians are good at. They're good at rotating the strike when they're under pressure. Aaron Finch back on strike now. Sharpen up here as we see a fine leg coming in, deep square leg going back. It's a mid-wicket, mid-on, so he's going to target the stumps, you'd think. That can be a weakness of Aaron Finch. One slip in.
Only 22, Lahuru Kamara. Already played 17 tests and taken 53 wickets. He's full and straight on this occasion, and Aaron Finch says, I like that a lot, and lifts him out over long on for 6. What a first over. It had everything. Shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance, and after 2 on the KO scoreboard, Australia none for 15.
Introducing the Architect's Choice range of stylish and affordable do-it-yourself glass pool fencing. Proudly partnered by the Royal Life Saving Society of Australia and conforms to all Australian standards. It's family safe. Bring your outdoors to life with clear views and clear lines. The choice is clear with the Architect's Choice.
See the Architect's Choice range of glass pool fencing at Bunnings Warehouse or thearchitectschoice.com.au.
2 overs into the Australian run chase, and that first over from Lahuru Kamara almost had the Australian captain leg before wicket. Very fortunate, in fact, to survive. Stayed an umpire's call as it was clipping the bails, but not enough of the ball with the current setup of the rules and interpretations of DRS. And went right through David Warner as well. Malinga to bowl his second over from the northern end, and starts with a length delivery which Warner can only defend on the front foot, and the bowler, the Sri Lankan skipper, does his own fielding.
What about that last over, Roger?
Well, I was just amazed that, Aaron Finch probably should have been out for a duck. The next ball he faces off the big quickie pumps him in the Bay 13 in the Great Southern Stand. What a player. That's what we love about Aaron Finch, and that's what we love about the courage of the Australian cricket side as well.
Finch and Warner both have 7 to their name. 128 needed from 107 balls. Malinga in and slinging, and Warner is driving through the covers for 4. All the way along the carpet. A shot of the night.
Thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. Just too wide there. That's all. And that's where they've got to be straight. They did it really well in Canberra in the PM's game. They bowled straight, but in every game so far in this Gillette series, they've got it wide, and you can't let David Warner, a man of his class, actually have any width at all. He'll punish you all day long. So got to get it straighter for the skipper and give him no width.
What a blazing shot that was from David Warner, who's now up to 171 runs for the series and still yet to be dismissed. He's 11 from 9 with a couple of boundaries as Malinga bounces in again. And Warner driving, this time on the onside, but straight to mid-on. And there is no run as Rajapaksa does the fielding just inside the circle.
You know, there's not many that can cross off that they've dominated all three forms of the game. David Warner's up there, A.B. de Villiers, probably Virat Kohli as well. It ticked off that you are supreme in all three forms, Test match, one-day cricket and T20. It's a phenomenal performer, David Warner, when he's on song.
And Rohit Sharma's going to make a late charge at Test level, given his recent form. Malinga in and goes right through Warner with a peach of a delivery. Extra bounce. Warner looks quizzically down at the turf in front of him. Malinga just smiles and looks up at the big screen to survey his handiwork on the Spine Leads replay. What a delivery.
Well, that slower ball is so effective, you know, and for our listeners out there, when he bowls fast, I mean, he's not bowling fast today, that ball is actually even more devastating because there's a big drop. You can't pick it up in his action. He just holds it back in his fingers, cross, almost bowls a really fast off-spinner.
That's horrible. Buff, I faced him in his prime, and when he was the supreme death bowler finisher, that slow ball is an absolute killer.
This is just good cricket all round. He's in again, and Warner is dabbing out into the covers, but straight to the field in the form of Ashada Fernando, and no run.
Yeah, he's so hard to pick up. Because when he used to bowl sort of 150-ish, you're searching for two deliveries. The pitched-up Yorker and the off-speed ball. And then on the odd occasion, he'd bang the short-pitch delivery in as well, which would catch you absolutely, completely off guard.
Well, I think there's only one batsman I've seen get him in his time, and that was Virat Kohli down in Hobart in a one-day game when he was bowling 150-plus, and he just dispatched all deliveries all around the park, but I haven't seen too many people get him.
Last ball of the third over. Malinga in again, off-pace delivery once more. Warner sweated on it and clipped it neatly to wide mid-on. Took a single, retained the strike, and after 3 on the KO scoreboard, KO stream over 50 sports live and on demand. Australia none for 20.
Things are about to get intense at Dave's workshop. He went to bizcover.com.au and saw how much he could be saving on his public liability insurance. So now he's getting his old policy out of his system. BizCover are Australia's small business insurance specialists, giving tradies like Dave multiple quotes from top insurers. No nasty paperwork, just hassle-free insurance online. Don't pay too much for your business insurance. Head to bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save.
None for 20 after 3. Electrifying start to the Australian run chase with both bat and ball. Sri Lanka could easily have picked up a couple of wickets. At the same time, the ball has sailed over the ropes on one occasion off the bat of Aaron Finch, and a couple of boundaries to David Warner, including a cover drive which went screaming out to the rope in front of the MCC members. 143 the overall victory target. Australia none for 20 after 3. And just the one over from Lahuru Kamara as Nuwan Pradeep is into the attack. Is there going to be a run out? No, there's not. As Warner with no inside edge, just off the pad, it rolled away towards cover, and they scamper through for a quick single. What do you think of this call, gents, in terms of Kamara not bowling a second over?
Well, I don't agree with it, but I think he might switch around to this end, Malinga's end, which solves the problem in the first 6. So they might switch him around and gets one more at this end. They've got, obviously, Pradeep to bowl this end and one more. That gets them through the power play. They may think of it that way. It was such a good over last over, even though he went for a 4 and a 6. It's a tough one.
Pradeep in, close to the stumps. Finch covers up in defence and guides it out to a straightish cover, and there's no run. Sandakan does the fielding.
And I think the key is you've got to get wickets. Who's your best guys to get wickets? And look like, Malinga's one of them. And then Kamara's the other one, but this guy swings it, so if he gets it right, he's just bowled 2 wide in the series so far, Hodgie.
Yes, absolutely. They've been way off the pace. And at the MCG, even though it is big square of the wicket, you do want to pitch the ball up and attack the top of middle and off stump.
Pradeep in again. Finch drives square and he breaches the infield. Long chase for Sandakan from cover point. The ball, is it going to win the race? It's not. and it'll be a comfortable 3 to the Australian pair as Finch moves into double figures. He has 10, Warner has 12, and it is none for 24 halfway through the 4th. Pradeep was easily their best bowler in the carnage in Adelaide. 4 overs, none for 28, given Australia went at just over 11 and over.
Yeah, he was. He needed to be. But he's sort of... it's a funny one, isn't it? Because he's got all the tricks. He just needs to try and find a way to get through the defences of Aaron Finch and David Warner.
He's with Warner again. Warner, as he hold out, he dropped! Dropped by the captain at mid-off, back on the edge of the circle. Malinga can't believe it. Warner flat batted it down the ground. Malinga held onto it for a long time, and the ball jarred free as the elbows hit the ground.
Well, hard to explain that. That looked like it was going straight to him. It was banged in the wicket. Davey looked like he's shanked it on the spinal ease replay. It's going straight to Malinga, and it's just faded away, and he's put in a dive which wasn't necessary. And soon as the, well, can't say heavyish frame of Lassie Malinga, but
yes, you can.
He's been in better. As soon as he hit this turf, the ball came spilling out. It's a life that David Warner, well, he'll enjoy, but yet to be dismissed in this series.
Both openers could easily be back in the pavilion here. Sri Lanka bowling well. Pradeep bowls again. Finch takes an almighty swing off a thick inside edge. It rolls the short fine leg, and they trot through for 1. None for 26 with 1 ball remaining in the 4th.
Well, seriously, he just had to take 2 steps to the right, and he could have caught that on his chest. You know, and that's just age. That's just age, Hodgie. It's not. You just don't move the body like you want to in previous years, and you know, be disappointed with that because he's trying to get his side up and going. He holds that catch, so they get that early wicket they need.
Pradeep to complete his first over. Warner drives. He won't beat mid-on. Oh, there's another misfield, and they will take a single.
1 run.
Kamara with the misfield. Malinga has to mop up. Warner retains the strike. And after 4 on the BizCover scoreboard, visit bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save. Australia, none for 27.
What if something happens to my home or my stuff? I might need to rebuild or find the cash to replace it all.
Don't worry, Westpac Home Insurance can help get you back on track if the unexpected happens. And you can save up to 25% when you get a quote and buy a policy online. Simply search Westpac Home Insurance to get started. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the PDS to see if this insurance is right for you.
Australia none for 27, trying to run down 143 after Sri Lanka posted 6 for 142. A dead rubber, but you wouldn't know it from the last 10 or so minutes, with excitement galore with bat and ball here in the early stages of Australia's run chase. So Kamara back into the attack, replacing Malinga from the members' end. First ball's a Yorker.
1 run.
And Warner drives. He picks up a single down to mid-on. He moves to 15, and it's none for 28.
Well, they've been good so far, the Sri Lankans. The energy's there in the field. It's just a little bit of the execution, just tidy up a few of those misfields. But you can see them in the ring. They're trying to hunt down these singles, trying to keep pressure on, and Kumara has certainly brought a spark to this unit.
Well, they could have had them 2 for 20, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
That's the thing. If Finch and Warner could be gone, you're right in the game. None for 28, you go, oh, you know, we need to get a wicket now. It gets a bit, as we said, first 6 overs, they need to have 2 wickets. So 11 balls remaining. This guy can get a couple for him quickly.
115 from 95. Kamara in Yorker to Finch, who drives to Malinga at mid-on. And he hit it well enough. The ball got to his opposite number that quickly, there was no chance of a run.
It's got me blown why this guy hasn't played. Seriously.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
It's one of the worst non-selections I've ever seen. I mean, I saw him in the Canberra game and went, wow, he's got some toe.
Yep.
I thought, well, he's going to be a handful. Watched him a bit and didn't have to call him once until now.
Steams in again. Towel stuck down the back of the strides. Over pitches, and Finch drives square of the wicket behind point for 4.
Well, that is a shot of the day, thanks to Westpac Home Insurance, and that's just experienced on Aaron Finch. He's set up with two guys on the leg side. There's a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket, and Aaron Finch would have been saying to himself, anything on off-stump or outside, I'm going to just carve away through the offside, and he got the exact gift that he wanted. He stayed leg side of the ball, threw the hands at it, and it raced backward a point for 4. And Lassie Malinga's trying to tidy up that offside. There's no one on the offside out on the fence, so a deep mid-wicket stays in play. He cannot get anywhere other than leg stump.
Finch joins Warner on 15. Finch is 15 from 10, and he's got another live. He has almost smashed it down the throat of the fielder at cover. That was travelling. Trying to pick up who that was. I think Ashada Fernando. That came rocketing out of the meat of the bat, and he's put down a sharp chance at cover.
Well, he did hit that hard. I thought it might have been our bloke that doesn't drop anything, for Hodges' sake. Yes.
Could well be. You've got to take that.
You have to. Even though it's coming at a rate of knots, you've got to take those catches.
So both openers have been put down, and Aaron Finch has also survived a very close leg before decision. Warner's cramped for room for the next delivery, but manages to free the arms and force out towards cover, and they take a single before Sandakan does the fielding. It's none for 34.
Well, a good positive thing for Lasith Malinga is when he does come back here for this T20 World Cup, he'll know that Kumara can certainly surprise a few in the power play.
Yep. And if he's bowling too, and Malinga's bowling too, you all of a sudden got a bit of structure, haven't you?
Last ball of the fifth over. Kamara in again, strangled appeal as he strikes Finch on the pad. It was heading down leg, and there is no run. After 5 on the BizCover scoreboard, Australia has reached, with a few nervous moments, none for 34.
Things are about to get intense at Dave's workshop. He went to bizcover.com.au and saw how much he could be saving on his public liability insurance. So now he's getting his old policy out of his system. BizCover are Australia's small business insurance specialists, giving tradies like Dave multiple quotes from top insurers. No nasty paperwork, just hassle-free insurance online. Don't pay too much for your business insurance. Head to bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save.
None for 34 after 5. Appreciate your company on this very warm Friday evening in Melbourne. Game 3. A dead rubber, but an exciting clash nonetheless. Australia and Sri Lanka. It becomes Australia v Pakistan starting on Sunday at the Sydney Cricket Ground in another 3-match T20 series, proudly brought to you by Gillette. Game 2 of that series, Melbourne Cup night in Canberra, and Game 3 in Perth. Pradeep to continue, and full and straight first delivery of the 6th over. Warner drives an elegant shot, or a firmly struck shot to the edge of the circle, well fielded, and there's no run.
Yeah, just gave himself a fraction of room again. No one back on the offside. 2 guys out, deep square leg and deep mid-wicket to David Warner. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Sri Lanka. At this stage, they were exactly even. None for 34. Sri Lanka 2 for 34.
Pradeep in again. Off-pace delivery once more. They think they've got Warner trapped leg before wicket. Bowler received no support from the wicket-keeper. And not out to the call. There must have been an inside edge because they took one. No signal from Sean Craig.
Yeah, going down leg, I think, that one. So we have a look at the Spinelli's replay. It's full, and he's inside edged it. Yeah, that's right. Good decision.
Very lucky, actually. Yeah. He did get a little tickle on that. David Warner was out the back of the hand, slower ball.
Good decision from Sean Craig.
Good decision.
Yeah, it's a tough one, wasn't it? He got it right.
Absolutely.
On international debut, partnering tonight with Paul Blocker-Wilson. As Pradeep charges in again for the Australian captain, and that struck him on the toe. That's going to be very close as well. Once more, they run a leg by. Sean Craig has turned down the appeal again. Once more, he signalled the leg by before the Sri Lankans have decided whether they want to go upstairs, because they retained their DRS with the umpire's call earlier. But on this occasion, they're not interested.
Well, I wonder if they know that they've retained it, because this one, good decision again, going down.
Yep.
tell you what, they've had some half chances, haven't they?
They have. They're in the game. It's as I said, it's unfortunate. Sri Lanka at the same stage with none for 34. Australia, with 2 for 34. Australia, none for 34. So they'd have taken their chances. They're right in the game, right in the ballpark.
What's going on here? Umpire Craig stepped in front of Pradeep as he was almost gathering himself.
Well, third man was sleeping, Beaver. He was parked down on the fence. There would have been 3 men out of the circle. It would have been a free hit. Davey Warner would be spewing that the umpire stepped in front there. He would have been counting his stars for a free hit.
Beautifully explained, Hodgie. Pradeep in again, and he bowls a leg side wide. It was off-pace delivery. Warner smashes the pitch with his bat in frustration. With fine leg inside the circle, that was a 4 or maybe even a 6 that went begging.
Well, the bad thing with that is, if he didn't notice, he shouldn't really help him, should he? Because Warner knows it's coming. He can swing hard and say, right, that's a no ball. So he's getting 2 free hits.
And then you can review it. Yeah. And then because the umpire will then see there's 3 outside the circle,
that's right.
and you save your wicket.
2 men out, a deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg. And deep square leg comes into the game as a shortish ball is hoiked off the hip by Warner. And such is the width here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. That was a very comfortably run 2 to Sander Khan in the deep. It's none for 39. 2 balls remaining in the power play. And Warner has moved to 19.
Well, that's been a piece of his proper jigsaw, Davey Warner, running between the wickets for his success so far in this tournament. He gets out of the block so quick, the little bull in and out, and picks up 2s comfortably.
19 from 21. He drives out into the covers from the next delivery, and they pick up a single. None for 40. It appears as if it's been an easy cruise for the Australians, but none for 40 with plenty of yarring going on out there from the Sri Lankans.
It's been a much better performance by Sri Lanka. A couple of half chances, they take those. They're right in the game. I mean, the hardest thing now is they're going to rely on their spin, aren't they? And I think they've just got to try and... Who's our best guys to get wickets? And I think it's Kumar at one end and spin the other.
Pradeep in again, close to the stumps as Finch stands tall, no footwork, and punches it out into the covers, but straight to the field, and there is no run. End of 6, completion of the power play, fielding restrictions relaxed, and on the BizCover scoreboard, Australia, none for 40.
If you're suffering from bad teeth or loose dentures, the All-on-4 dental implant system may be the answer. Completed within 24 hours at the All-on-4 clinic and done while you sleep by renowned experts like Dr. Fadi Yasmin.
People who come to see me are often confused and frustrated. We can help. I hold All-on-4 consultations in Liverpool, so why not make an appointment to see me? Visit allon4.com.au. That's all-on4 with the number 4.com.au.
McDonald's scoreboard, none for 40 after 6, Australia. 30 days, 30 deals at Macca's is back. An entire month of Ripper deals, good enough to bowl you over. Check out today's deal only on the My Macca's app. And I can plead guilty, gentlemen. I had a Big Mac and a medium fries for lunch today. It was $1 Big Macs today.
I thought you said you were starting a diet at some stage, Beaver.
Yeah,
McDonald's is good for you.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the pies and stuff that you just consumed and the donut that just fell your way into your tummy just about 10 minutes ago.
Don't know what you're talking about, Bradley.
I'm happy with the burger. Don't worry about that. It's just what's being consumed in the last 15 minutes.
Change in the bowling. Shian Jayasuriya, the off spinner, into the attack, and he's bowling from the northern or members end. First delivery is chopped away by Warner out through point for a single, and it's none for 41. Gee, the donuts were good though.
Were they?
Yeah, plural.
Well, there's none left. We didn't get any.
There's a playful we ever said it. Did you get one?
No, I didn't get an offer either.
I'll be telling your wife and children on the phone. Look after him, get him out for a walk.
Well, they're in mourning because Diva the goldfish has passed away earlier tonight.
Well, you could have brought us some donuts home. Now, this is interesting because Aaron Finch, one thing he does do is take on the off spin. And one thing he'll try and do, he'll try and go long on to wide mid-wicket, but he'll aim at the member stand here. And he won't fear. If he tosses it up, it's going to travel.
And it's Malinga down at long on. And pretty straight as well. So Jayasuriya in, and Finch does exactly what Darren Lehman just told you he was going to do. Planted the front foot and sends it flying over the rope for a shot of the night.
Thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. Well,
Good call, Buff. I think you knew that was going to happen. So did I. We know that Aaron Finch, it's part of the game plan that as soon as you see any form of off-spin, he goes as hard as humanly possible. And he won't stop either.
He'll go again.
Joshua in flatter and quicker, and Finch cuts behind point. They'll run 2, and as long as the fielding is clean, that's all they will get. Well fielded out in the deep, none for 49.
And the problem now is he won't want to toss one up, so he's going to bowl into the wicket and shorter. And Aaron's smart enough to say, right, I'll just lay it off in between there and I get 2. So as soon as he's up, he's going leg side or mid-on. Let's have a look at that 6 on the spinal Lee's replay. Didn't quite get it either.
No. He's 24 from 16. Jai Surya again, flat and quick, leg stump line. Finch turns it off his pads. Behind square, slight misfield, and it allows them to come back for 2. And it brings up the Australian 50, 51 without loss after 6.4.
Well, this is where the Dusra becomes it has to be apparent in the game. I mean, Murali Dhuran, he showed everyone the importance of it in all 3 forms of the game. Something which doesn't seem to be taught often at all.
Jai Surya round the wicket. Finch tickles it around the corner. I think there was a little bit of bat in it. There was certainly a little bit of pad. No signal from blocker Wilson, so there was some willow, none for 52.
In fact, R. Ashwin last IPL bowled, I think, something like 70% Dusras compared to his normal off-spin in IPL last year.
Jai Surya in once more. Warner swings it fine. They'll pick up just a single, so Warner will retain the strike after 7 on the McDonald's scoreboard. Australia none for 53.
The crack of cricket bat on ball, the cheers of the crowd for every 6. These are the sounds of summer, just like the clap of thunder, the crackle of bushfire and the drum of hailstones. So it's important to be prepared and protect your home and belongings.
Westpac Home Insurance can help, covering your home against all that summer brings. Simply search Westpac Home Insurance to find out more. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the PDS to see if this insurance is right for you.
None for 53 after 7 overs. 7.57 Australia's current run rate. Required from this point, 6.92 per over. And we're about to see spin from both ends. Lakshan Sandakan, the left arm wrist spinner, very experienced, into the attack. And he's got David Warner in his sights, who's 22 from 24. Finch has been more explosive, 27 from 18.
Well, you feel this is a game here, really, now. If they don't get a wicket in the next few overs, they'll probably coast to victory, you think, because they're going to take him on, aren't they? They're going to run 2. There's big boundaries.
Sandakan is in, and Warner is swinging him away out through mid-wicket, and they'll get just the 1 as Rashada Fernando does the fielding in the deep. None for 54.
And Aaron Finch likes this end to the old Bay 13. If he picks him, he'll toss it up, he'll go to the same area, wide and mid-on, the mid-wicket area. If he bowls the wrong and he picks that, he'll go over cover.
No one in front of the wicket on the leg side inside the circle, and just the one man inside the circle in front of the wicket on the offside. Sandakan in, Finch advances, clubs it all the way along the carpet down to Nuwan Pradeep at long off, and they jog a single. 55 without loss, 2 balls into the 8th over, 88 needed from 76. Warner now up to 183 runs for the series and yet to be dismissed. He slaps this one out through the covers. There's protection in the deep at the punt road end. And again, they walk 1.
Well, this is where it's absolutely critical. If you don't get the openers out, your spinning unit's under extreme pressure, and that's where you've got to take your chances. And, you know, if you had young Ben McDermott walking to the crease or out in the middle now, then you'd feel that you could strangle those middle order players. But right now, they're in a holding pattern for Finchy to get one in his sights.
Sandakan in again. Little late cut played by Finch, and just a single. Mirashan Dikwela virtually asleep on the edge of the circle then. Not sure there should have been one, but Warner reacted quickly. The throw actually went to the non-striker's end, and that's none for 57.
I mean, he's got some skill, Sandakan, there's no doubt about it. Got all the tricks, and he just needs some exposure to this middle order on a big ground.
Over the wicket he comes, and Warner plays a straight pull shot, muscles it down to long on.
One run.
And Pradeep again in the game doing the fielding. Once more, it's just a single. 58 without loss. Warner to 25. Finch has 29. It's the Australian captain back on strike. Sandakan in motion, and Finch staying leg side of the delivery, caresses it out through the covers. Warner ran the first quickly, Finch was jogging, and it will stay at just one, which means Finch retains the strike after 8 overs. On the McDonald's scoreboard, Australia 59 without loss.
How are our kids going to afford a place in Sydney?
Well, they won't be able to. That's the problem. But I've got an idea. Why don't we buy a place in Brisbane? Help them get a foot in the door.
Okay, so we buy in Brisbane now.
Or help them buy.
And with rental returns and growth, we all end up with a tidy investment.
Aha. And Brisbane is still affordable.
Helping the kids get into property? Is Sydney beyond the budget? Invest in Brisbane. Now that's a great idea. Visit brisbaneinvest.com.au.
None for 59 from 8. And Lahuru Kamara coming back into the attack. 2 rapid overs at the start of the innings. None for 18. Could easily have picked up a couple of wickets. And he'll be bowling to Aaron Finch, who he had almost legged before wicket. Apart from DRS saying not enough of the ball, was clipping the bails in his first over. In fact, his first delivery. And his first delivery of this spell or this new over, inside out over long off from Finch for 6. Kamara stands there with hands on hips, doing not a bad impersonation of the teapot, thinking, how on earth did you play that shot? And that is a shot of the night.
Thanks to Westpac Home Insurance, but again, it's a little bit wide. Aaron Finch is staying leg side of the ball and he's waiting for that. And if he bowls it short, he's going to cut it or pull it in front of mid-wicket. He's set up. You've got to be actually angling into Aaron Finch at this stage when he sets up like that. You've got to be trying to hit the top of middle and off. He's already done it with the new ball, but he needs to do it with the old ball. Bang the wicket to angle in to hit middle and off.
36 from 22, 1 4 but 3 6s for Finch. Bouncer from Kamara, and it was angled down the leg side, which means Blocker Wilson raises the arms to the horizontal. A wide is called, and it's none for 66.
Yeah, tough call actually. I think Aaron Finch is actually standing very leg side of the ball. It was a good short pitch ball. I think Aaron Finch sort of ducking for cover pretty quickly, and well, I guess the ball did slide down leg side, so it has to be called a wide, but a tough one for the bowler.
Hurried him up though, didn't it?
Absolutely.
It wasn't too far away from the left shoulder as Kamara in again, and Finch on the back foot plays it off his pads, but straight to the man at short mid-wicket.
That's a bit of the line of length.
That's what we were talking about earlier, at the stumps, isn't it? It's got to be right at the stumps for Aaron Finch. 77
needed from 70.
It's the strength of the Australian cricket team. If you don't get wickets early, they have to have a lot of firepower. You think of Maxwell missing tonight, obviously. You've got Darcy short on the sidelines. McDermott, Turner.
Kamara in again, punched off the back foot by Finch out through cover. They take the first. They were definitely thinking of a second until the Australian captain slipped over at the non-striker's end and looked ruefully up at his partner, who started herring back down the pitch as Aaron Finch checks the sprigs on his left boot. None for 67. I tell you what I am tonight. I'm on Ashton Turner watch because I think his levels of frustration. He's faced 1 ball so far in the series for 1 not out.
Strike rate too slow.
It's a quality one.
He had to get that 100 to get Warner 100. He couldn't actually slog it either, could he?
Yep, that was in Adelaide. Didn't get a hit in Brisbane.
Well, at least you can't be dropped either, I guess.
Love the red egg. Kamara, bouncer, and a bouncer that was too high. And a wide called again, none for 68.
Well, good short pitch, just a fraction too short. But, yeah, he's got some pace, Kamara. Seen him hurry it up a little bit, and that one's gone about 2.5 feet over David Warren on the Sponleys replay. He actually just called the wide himself.
Well, obviously the bounce at Aaron Finch wasn't a wide over the shoulder.
No, just a wide down leg side.
6 extras already, 3 leg buys, 3 wides. Big edge from Warner as he played with an angled bat. Third man is set quite fine, which prevented the boundary. They take one down to where the old Bay 17 was in the southern stand, which used to get as excitable as Bay 13.
You reckon?
I can tell you that from personal experience.
Yeah, but that's because you were in Bay 17 at the time.
Yeah, we used to go Bay 7, then we go Bay 12 to sort of watch the
carry-on.
The carry-on for Bay 13. Bay 12 was pretty funny as well.
You were there most days.
They were great days. Kamara in again. Off-pace delivery. Finch, has he got enough of it? Or has he hold out to long on? He's out! Well caught by Shian Jayasuriya. The first wicket has fallen, and you have to say Kamara deserved that. 1 for 69. Finch falls for 37, holding out to long on, and the Sri Lankans get a long-awaited scalp.
Well, it was nicely pitched up from Kamara and did exactly what we talked about, Darren Lehman, attacking the stumps. Aaron Finch saw it in his arc. He didn't quite get a lot of it. His inside edge of the bat and the disappointment in his face, he knows it was there. But a pretty handy knock from Aaron Finch. 37 off 25 balls with 1 4 and 3 mighty sixes. So a little impact innings from the skipper. And Kumara, well, he's been impressive. He's created a lot of opportunities tonight for the Sri Lankans. As Steve Smith walks to the crease.
What's interesting, the way they would have shaped up if Glenn Maxwell was playing, they would have probably put him in now, wouldn't they? They did in the first game. So I think what they're saying, well, Smith, no problems. He's striking, batting beautifully. But if they're going to go that way, and Glenn Maxwell's injured, or obviously he's out for other things this time, if he's injured, well, Turner's the one they're probably looking to do that role, aren't they?
Yes.
So then they should be saying to Turner, you're in, we want you to go.
Or there might be someone outside the squad that can fill that void.
Yeah, that's right.
At the number 3. So
especially with, unless they say, well, we're just going to make sure of it, these guys are going to have a partnership for a while and then go back in. But if you're setting a total, it would have been interesting maybe. Maybe it was because they were setting in Adelaide.
No, yeah, it's interesting. I like that Glenn Maxwell at number 3 for the whole tournament going forward. Steve Smith gives you such confidence at number 4.
So Steve Smith didn't get a hit in Adelaide. 53 not out from 36 deliveries in Brisbane Wednesday night. Kamara's in. Short pitch ball. Smith plays it superbly. Off his hip, flicks it around the corner. It's a boundary. And fine leg in Pradeep. Didn't actually have to move that far to his left, but such was the timing of the shot from the champion right-hander that it raced to the rope. End of the over. After 9 on the McDonald's scoreboard, Australia 1 for 73.
I'm Dr. Theos Pirakis from Bexley Dental. As we get older, our teeth can become wobbly and more susceptible to breaking. If you do have a problem, come and see me, and together we'll find a solution. For over a decade, I've been using the all-on-4 procedure from the Malo Clinic, Portugal. We've had enormous success treating broken and missing teeth and uncomfortable dentures. It's your life, your smile. I'm confident I can help you. Book your free consultation at bexydental.com.au.
Lakshan Sandakan to continue from the great southern stand end. First ball of a new over. Warner dances down to him, stays leg side of the delivery and smashes a drive out to wide, long off, and they take a single.
What an amazing last over that was by Kumara again, wasn't it? 6 over cover, or mid-off from Finch, deep long on out. First ball, Bradman hits a 4. It's just something happens when he's got the ball in his hand.
Remarkable, yep, no doubt.
And speaking of that final 6 from Aaron Finch, the third of his innings, it's brought up an interesting stat or change in the pecking order for the most maximums in T20 international cricket as Sandakan bowls. Smith dances as well. 1 bounce over the long off rope for 4.
Bradman, what more can you say? It's a shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. I mean, you just got to sit here and admire quality at its best. Steve Smith just danced down, read the pitch of the ball, and just smacked it straight over the bowler's head to the side screen. One bounce, I'll save my legs.
8 from 2. Sandakan in again. Smith on the back foot, whips it out through mid-wicket. They'll take 2 as Warner was in and out very quickly. There's, in fact, a bit of a missed field. So Smith, 10 from 3, and Australia 1 for 80 halfway through the 10th over.
Feed us the stat, Beaver. What was it?
So, it came from the great man, Laurie Colliver, and it is in regards to the most sixes hit in T20 internationals. Finch has now overtaken David Warner and moved into 6th place overall with 85 maximums, as Smith has to reach for a drive for the next delivery. Warner's on 84, so he's still got time to reclaim that 6th spot. The top 2, it goes an Indian, a West Indian, and then 3 Kiwis fill the top 5 spots. Sandakan once more. Smith whips it off his toes, out through wide mid-on, and they take just a single.
Well, let's pick him. I'd say Rohit Sharma, Chris Gale.
Correct. 109, 105,
McCullum,
and 3 Kiwis.
McCullum, Guptill.
Yeah, which order though? Well, Guptill's 3rd with 103. McCullum's
okay, so I can't say Guptill's 3 then, can I?
No.
Told us already.
McCullum's 5th with 91. Interesting, the bloke who's 4th, their teammates squeezed between them as Sandakan bowls again. Warner flat bats him.
Ross Taylor?
No, Colin Munro.
Well, there you go.
With 93. Warner retains the strike with that single from the last ball of the 10th over at the halfway point on the Biz Cover scoreboard. Australia reaches 1 for 82.
At Fuso Trucks right now, the deals are no way. These prices can't be right. With class-leading service intervals and a 5-year warranty as standard on the full range of trucks. Are you kidding? They can't possibly follow through with that. Can they?
Yeah, they can.
All right. To find out more about these unbelievable deals, visit your Fuso dealer or fuso.com.au now. Fuso. Rise above. T's and C's apply.
1 for 82 after 10 overs. Australia require another 61 runs from 60 deliveries. Nuwan Pradeep, the right arm seamer, back into the attack. 2 overs, none for 11. It's the first time he'll be bowling from this, the Northern or Members End though. Bowls close to the stumps, off-pace delivery, and swung down to fine leg by Warner for a single. Warner now has 29. Smith has 11. The man out, Aaron Finch, for 37.
Well, I'm interested to see what happens here. Steve Smith come to the crease, all guns blazing. And, well, Pradeep's been their best bowler so far. He's bowled a lot of change-ups in this innings. Hardly bowled an on-speed ball.
Trots in again, past umpire Wilson. And Smith squared up, plays a strange-looking cover drive, doesn't breach the infield, and there's no run.
Just have a feeling in this game that if they held those couple of early catches, they were right in it, weren't they? A couple of half chances. Yeah, 140, if they could have got 160, it'd be a really tight game now. But, you know, only just a bit over 6s.
Pradeep once more. Oh, and Smith, that didn't bounce as much as Steve Smith thought. And off the pad, it ballooned towards where Gully was. He wanted to take a single. Warner sent him back to shy at the stumps. Missed anyway. Back on your previous point, they just needed to get to the inexperienced guys in the middle order in Turner and McDermott.
That's it. Because now what these two will do, they're so experienced. I mean, you're talking, they could bat for, you know, what, 3 overs, 4 overs, knock it around.
Pradeep in again, and Smith lifts it out towards long on, bounces a couple of times before Jayasuriya gets there. Brilliant running again from this Australian pair. They get back for 2, and it's 1 for 85.
Well, and that's why the total of 142 needed to be more, Darren. Instead of 140, they had a chance to pull the trigger a fraction early and get 160, 165. 140 is not going to challenge Australia when you don't take your chances early.
Pradeep on the runway again. And Smith whacks him out into the deep. Is he going to be caught? He is! What a terrific catch by Sandakan. Heaved into the outfield by Steve Smith. And the little left arm wrist spinner, that was better suited to the middle of July. He took an overhead mark And the second wicket has fallen, 2 for 85 Australia, and it's the big wicket of Steve Smith.
Well, he tried to beat the man out of the deep again. We have another one tonight trying to do it. Mind you, I think he tried to get that finer, didn't he? So all well in front. Picked him out beautifully, but great catch because he hit it quite well. And it went at pace, so really good catch from Sandakan there. And the door opens a little bit for Sri Lanka.
Slightly, yes. Being McDermott walks to the crease, and look, he'll be nervous, there's no doubt. Gets an opportunity through Glenn Maxwell's absence, and it's not an easy time when you walk to the crease whenever in the middle of a good MCG crowd. And look, he'll look to get started. There's a just checking to see whether the two players crossed. It looks like they have, and David Warner's on strike. But a good wicket there, was a great catch, beautifully taken. Steve Smith got a good piece of it.
That is definitely safe hands with thanks to Protector Aluminium. Protector Aluminium do-it-yourself pool fence panels, fencing you can trust for life. See the range at Bunnings. Great to have Protector Aluminium back on board with Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket. And that was the catch of the night. As he smashed that, Steve Smith, that was travelling. It had travelled at some velocity. And a great catch by Sandakan. And now a bouncer from Pradeep. And a wide is called on height. The batsman had crossed. Warner on strike. McDermott at the non-strikers end. It's 2 for 86.
They can't afford that. They can't afford too many extras now.
No, not with the required run rate of 6.22. Well in control for Australia, but they need David Warner out.
And they're striking Warner on the pad, but that was always going to miss leg stump. And finally the over is completed. 2 for 86 now after 11 on the KO scoreboard. And the crack of cricket bat on ball and the cheers of the crowd for every 6 are familiar sounds during summer, as are the clap of thunder, the crackle of bushfires and the drum of hailstones bouncing on your roof. So it's important to be prepared and protect your home and belongings. Westpac Home Insurance can help, covering your home against all that summer brings. And when you get a quote and buy online, you can save up to 25% on your premium. Just search Westpac Home Insurance to find out more. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the product disclosure statement to see if this insurance is right for you. 57 needed from 54 balls for Australia to make a clean sweep of this 3-game series. Big victories, thumpings in fact, in Adelaide and Brisbane over the past week. Last Sunday afternoon in the City of Churches, Wednesday night at the Gabba, and the series completed here tonight at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Men's Gillette T20 International Series action continues Sunday with game 1 of another 3-match series, Australia-Pakistan, from the SCG, with Darren Lehman, Ian Chappell and Julian King on ball-by-ball, your commentary team.
I just get the feeling the game, new batter, they've got to try and weasel out David Warner. He just can't get him out at the moment. He's given him enough opportunities as such, but they've got to try and build some dots here. And I think he's left mid-wicket open because he likes to bowl the wrong, and whether Ben McDermott picks it or not, that's another issue. He wouldn't have seen him too much.
Sandakan to McDermott, and he plays it cautiously out into the covers, and that's well fielded there by the veteran Malinga to keep McDermott on 0.
Oh, he picked that quite comfortably, but I mean they've got another helmet out there, Wolf. They're searching for a bat pad, and there's a lot of fluffing around going on down at the dugout to try and run the most important piece of cricket equipment out. That's the protector.
Well, the strange thing, I don't think it's a wicket that'll go to bat pad, the MCG. I think it's more likely to go to slip. I'd rather them bowl the wrong one than go to slip, if that makes sense.
So it's Niroshan Dickwella under the lid at short leg. Sandakan in motion. And McDermott upper sleeve driving into the covers. That bounced only about a metre in front of a diving Malinga.
And what you can also do is bring one a long off and long on up to try and force an issue. Brad Hogg used to do that very well. Bring long on up and bowl the wrong and consistently to try and get the bowler to hit across the spin.
Straighter line from Sandakan. McDermott off the mark. Turns it out through mid-wicket. They take the first quickly, and they'll easily get back for the second. 2 for 88. halfway through the 12th.
And we speak about match awareness. He's not going to cow you. He's not going to hit him over mid-wicket with a man out there for 6. So that man has to say, right, I'm going to stop about there, which is about halfway between, so they couldn't get to any circumstance. So about 30 yards away from a 30-yard circle. Saying?
Sandakan very close to the stumps. McDermott with an open stance nudges it out towards mid-wicket, and this time the fielder did come in a lot more rapidly from the deep in Avishka Fernando and keeps it to 1.
Or how about just bring him in, Buff, straight off the fence and put him in the 30-metre circle so he can't get that one.
I agree with you, but the way they play these days, these young guys, they say, well, and bowl the wrong. That's fine, you can do that. But I think, even if just had him in so they can't push it to, and he's going, oh, maybe I should go for it.
Sandakan again, flat batted down the ground by Warner with that signature straight pull he plays. And the single takes Australia to 2 for 90. Warner 30 from 33.
Yeah, it's quite sluggish today, Davey. That run rate up, son.
He's up to 190 runs for the series. 100 not out, 60 not out, now 30 not. Sandakan in again. McDermott drives firmly all the way along the turf to long off, and they jog through for a single. McDermott will retain the strike. And after 12 on the Viz cover scoreboard, Australia 2 for 91.
What if something happens to my home or my stuff? I might need to rebuild or find the cash to replace it all.
Don't worry, Westpac Home Insurance can help get you back on track if the unexpected happens. And you can save up to 25% when you get a quote and buy a policy online. Simply search Westpac Home Insurance to get started. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the PDS to see if this insurance is right for you.
2 for 91 after 12. Australia's run rate 7.58. They require to go at 6.5 from here to get home. And home is 143. Sri Lanka sent in, made 6 for 142. Australia looking for a clean sweep in this 3-match series. Final game tonight from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Lasith Malinga back into the attack. The skipper, 2 overs, none for 8. Start of his 3rd over, off-pace Yorker, and McDermott plays it well. Tickles it round the corner, just forward of square, and they take a single.
Well, he's smelling a bit of young blood, Malinga, isn't he?
Oh, a good ploy. Good ploy. They need to try and get Warner. He's probably also the best man to get Warner, isn't he, with that off-pace slow ball. So, and Ben wouldn't have seen him too much, would he, Ben McDermott?
No, not hardly ever.
Hardly at all. So I think it's a good ploy. I think he's got to go. He's got to bowl 2 overs here as well. Don't worry about the back end, because they need to somehow put some pressure on some of the players right now.
3 inside the circle on the offside. Malinga over the wicket to Warner, clears the front leg, goes inside out over cover. It won't reach the rope. There'll be at least 2. Fielded by Sandakan in the deep, and he keeps it to 2, which takes Warner to 32, and it's 2 for 94.
Well, anything that's just a fraction off the stumps, David Warner to Lasith Malinga is just giving himself a little bit of room and freed that offside. He's done that all through the whole tournament.
49 needed from 46 deliveries. Finch for 37, Smith for 13. The men out, the wickets fell at 69 and 85. Admittedly, the Sri Lankans could have picked up Warner and Finch on a couple of occasions each during the power play. As Kamara finally introduced to the side, really shook up the opening pair. Malinga in again, short and wide, and Warner dispatches it. It wasn't far from the diving man, a backward point. But as soon as it had beaten him, Fernando had raced out to the rope at the city end for 4.
Well, they brought the, it's a shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance, but they brought the deep point in. So 3 up in the circle, and now a reaction as the deep point goes back and mid-off comes up and long on goes back. So changing the field to that, it nearly yielded a result. So nearly went straight to backward point. It was in the air.
Malinga on his way again. Past umpire Wilson. Forces Warner back, who just tickles it around the corner off his pads. And they take a single to square leg.
Yeah, neither here nor there, is it? You may as well actually keep him up now. But you need to get Warner out, because if Warner just stays, he's going to control the innings anyway, isn't he? He's going to go run a ball regardless. You need to try and put some pressure on the young kid, McDermott. He'd be nervous, but 44 off 44 with 8 wickets in hand is quite comfortable for anyone. You got to get 2 or 3 quick wickets and a few dot balls in there as well.
8 runs from this Malinga over. 2 balls remaining. He strikes McDermott on the pad. He's been given. He has been given. The finger went up from blocker Wilson with the appeal. McDermott turns to David Warner for a short conference. Is he going to ask for a review?
I'm definitely asking. I think that's going down.
Time is ticking, and no, McDermott's on his way. They've elected not to ask for the DRS. Malinga strikes.
I'm not so sure about that, Bruce. I'd like another look at that, because I think that's sliding down. And one of the things with that is it's a young kid playing his first game, or his first game for a while. You can see middle and off stump.
I reckon it was going down.
See him on the front pad. It's definitely a review, that one. And I don't know what was said in the middle, but as a young man, I think David Warner should have just said to him, mate,
just take it.
Take it. Don't worry about it. We're going to win the game. I want you here to win it. And I'm really interested to see what transpired there.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
So McDermott on his way, 5 from 7. Australia 3 for 99. 1 ball remaining in the 13th over. And Ashton Turner, who's done a lot of fielding in this series and not much batting, finally gets a chance for a decent hit in the middle. 1 not out from 1 delivery faced in Adelaide to get Warner back on strike to reach his century. Didn't get a hit in Brisbane, but comes out now with 44 needed from 43 deliveries, and the veteran Sri Lankan captain with his tail up.
Well, I always don't like it when they don't show the replay.
Yeah, I'm searching for that as well.
Yeah, you know, I want the Spineless replay up there. It does annoy me when they don't do that.
Last ball of the 13th. Malinga into Ashton Turner, who's forward and defending on the front foot back down the line. And Malinga does his own fielding. Excellent over from Lasith Malinga. And on the Biz Cover scoreboard, after 13, Australia 3 for 99.
Another all sports, all-time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.
This is the ball of Tiger Woods. And this is extremely difficult. This is one of the toughest pitches on the entire place here. Well, here it comes. Oh, my goodness. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Keep listening for more all sports, all-time moments on Macquarie Sports Radio.
3 for 99 after 13. We're finally seeing a Spineless replay. And Darren Lehman, that's why he is one of the best in the business. That was going to be missing. And McDermott, if he'd asked for a review, would still be out in the middle. New over. New bowler as well. It is Jaya Surya with his right arm off breaks. Warner takes a single to mid-on from the first ball and brings up the Australian century.
Yeah, it's just disappointing for a young man, isn't it? And I think that's where the senior players got to say, youngster, take it. Don't worry about it. I know I can't really tell, but if you feel like you're standing batting on middle leg, it's almost got to be sliding down.
Jaya Surya in again, and Turner slaps it out through cover point. And they take another comfortable single.
Mind you, the champ Bull, he didn't get it right in the Ashes, did he? Because if a bloke's bowling around the wicket and you're batting 1.5 metres out of your crease and hits you on the full, you're either outside the line or it's missing leg. When Stuart Broad got him in that first Test match.
I think there's a good theme coming here.
Just that's flat and quick, and Warner was sweating on it, carved it out through point. Protection in the deep, and a good throw in as well, keeps it to 1. It's 3 for 102.
And the theme is, Buff, is that when Bull's out there, don't ask for his opinion. Just take it.
Or tell him to take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
41 needed from 39. If Warner falls in the next over or two, we could have a tight finish. Jaya Surya throws it up, and Ashton Turner just goes bang! Out over Cow for a maximum, over the rope, over the fence. A monster hit from just the third ball he faced.
Well, that's what he can do. Shot of the day thanks to Westpac Home Insurance. if they do, he's got great reach. He hits spin out of the ground. That's one of the reasons they like him in that middle order to take a role. You know, the quicks, you've got to be bowling quicks to him. You know, it's a different kettle of fish for him, but the spin, he murders. He'll go again.
Jayasuriya tries again, and Turner tries to repeat the dose, this time off the toe of the bat, or the lower portion of the bat. It works its way down to long off, and they take a single, 3 for 109.
Yeah, I commentated a lot of Big Bash games over in Perth last year, Buff, and Ashton Turner was absolutely destructive on that surface over there against any sort of spin.
Last ball of the Jayasuriya over, and Warner drives down the ground. He'll retain the strike as the ball rolls to long on. 14 overs in the book. 3 for 110 Australia on the Biz Cover scoreboard.
If you're suffering from bad teeth or loose dentures, the all-on-4 dental implant system may be the answer. Completed within 24 hours at the All-on-4 clinic and done while you sleep by renowned experts like Dr. Fadi Yasmin.
We offer immediate teeth that are fixed and final. To tell you more, I run seminars at our Broadway clinic and consultations in Liverpool. For a consultation or my next seminar date, visit allon4.com.au. That's allon4 with the number 4.com.au.
A little bit of byplay, interesting byplay between overs. Billy Stanlake, you can't miss him. About as tall as one of the light towers here at the MC. Run out a couple of drinks for this Australian pair. He was about 40 metres inside the field of play. Blocker Wilson spotted him, just put up the big hand like the stop sign and turned him on his way and sent him back over the rope. Kamara in to bowl his final over, and from the members' end, his first ball is full and straight. Warner drives down the ground, direct hit. It'd be interesting at the non-striker's end as the throw came in from Jayasuriya or no, Pradeep down there at long on, and they got back for 2, 3 for 112.
Well, he's quick Turner. That's one of the things, in and out. Good running from this Australian team. They've set the tone for the whole series, haven't they? The sort of benchmark in Australian conditions.
Spineley's replay. Gee, a clean, well, a direct hit. Turner definitely would have gone. Now, the game is in this over, you would think, as in Kamara, if he can knock over Warner, and he almost did. A short ball which surprised David Warner, 143.2 clicks. He got jumbled up with his footwork, got caught up in his body, and the ball dropped and stopped about 10 centimetres from the leg stump.
Well, it's hit the stumps on the Spinelli's replay. The ball has hit the stumps, and we've seen this before where the extra weight of the zing bails doesn't allow the bails to come off, Buff. In fact, it's hit it twice.
Hit it twice? Can you believe that?
And that's hit it solid as well. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely. At 143 kilometres an hour.
Fact is stranger than fiction. Kamara tries again. Down leg side and a leg side wide. There was a little noise as Warner swiveled. Thought for a second there might have been a little bit of glove in that, but he played inside the line. 3 for 113.
Well, that's amazing. We've seen that happen a few times throughout, I'm not sure international cricket, but certainly Big Bash cricket, where the bails have been lit up and haven't come out of the socket. So they do actually have a name, that socket. Dean Jones told me. I thought it was absolute rubbish, but it's a true fact.
Is it?
Yes, there's a name for the groove in the stumps.
As Warner takes a single down to fine leg with a hoik around the corner. It starts with SPR. It's not the sprocket, is it? Sprocket, something like that.
It was one of them things where Dino took pride in actually knowing this useless piece of information.
Yeah, Tim Lane knows it as well. If either of them are listening, well, I think Dino heads back off to India, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tim might be listening.
He'll probably message me later on and tell me what it is, but, yeah, I mean...
Or if anyone knows.
If anyone knows, yes.
Through the feed at Macquarie Sport.
And now David Warner is allowed to change gloves mid-over.
How's that happen? What's the point? He got sent off during the mid-break. I mean, that's where you do change gloves, isn't it? And now he runs on.
Kamara to Turner, bouncer, gloved it down the leg side, and it might have almost gone for 6. So it couldn't have just been glove. He's helped that on its way. Express pace again. Certainly high up on the bat, maybe even a little bit of the shoulder of the blade. And Turner has struck his second maximum, certainly with not as much authority as the first one. Spineley's replay might have almost come off the back of the bat.
It's a whacker special, that one, Beaver. He'll be used to it, where if you get any sort of the top edge on it, it flies, absolutely flies in Perth for 4. Ashton Turner was down leg side, tried to catch up with it, just didn't quite, and got the top edge, went all the way.
Kamaran again, full and straight, and Turner punches firmly down to long on for 1.
And he only had to get it a bit straighter, didn't he? It was just on the leg side. If he gets that, over middle stump, that's a dangerous ball, especially someone like Turner. So it's the direction you've got to make the direction right. And he showed enough to me. I know he's gone for 43, but a couple of top edges and a couple of good shots and a couple of LBW shouts, and he's got to play every game for them.
He has been exciting. Here's his last ball of the night. Off-pace delivery. Warner whacks it. It stays whacked out over long on for 6.
127 for 3 after 15 overs.
So he finishes tonight, Lahuru Kamara, with 1 for 49 from 4. Certainly doesn't do justice to how well he bowled, particularly early. And Australia are going to cruise to victory now. 15 overs completed. KO scoreboard. Australia 3 for 127.
Hi, I'm Hattie. Buy a Lexus Melbourne Cup souvenir pin at Flemington Racecourse to raise funds for very special kids. You can win some great prizes like a Lexus NX 300 all-wheel drive F-Sport.
Visit flemington.com.au for T's and C's, excluding WA residents. Competition closes and winners drawn on 9/11/19. Authorised under permit numbers of New South Wales LTPS/19/34686, SAT 19/788 and ACTTP 19/03354.
16 runs required for Australia to sweep this 3-match series. Start of the 16th over as Sandakan with his left arm wrist spin bowls to Ashton Turner. He just nudges it out quietly forward of square, and so little pace on the shot. They get back for a comfortable 2. Turner 17 from 7, 3 for 129.
Is any word on his shoulder, Poof, whether he can actually bowl in the short future at all?
No, not at the moment. That would be handy. If he could bowl off spin and throw, I mean, you've got a complete package, haven't you? The problem is, when sides start to realise you can't throw, you can run to him all the time, can't you?
Yep.
And we know he can throw off short distances. That's why he fields in the ring all the time.
Sandakan in, wide of off stump, spinning further away, and Turner...
Dot ball.
Well, that would have been some shot, because he reached for that and tried to flick it around behind square.
Well, it's probably missed the wide tram line on the offside. Ashton Turner's looking for a wide. And I think Sean Craig just said, well, you missed it, buddy.
Sandakan in again. Oh, and that's almost been dragged back onto the stumps as well, as Turner again getting a long way across the offside, tried a little paddle sweep. Almost pulled it back onto his leg stump. How that previous delivery wasn't called a wide. Sandakan in again. More authentic shot from Turner, who cracks it on the back foot out through the covers for 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that wasn't called a wide, to be perfectly honest. Like, why not? Playing a normal shot. He didn't step over, did he?
No, it actually, it landed off the surface.
3 for 130. Warner a single away from his 3rd time he's reached 50 in this series, and there it is as he chops away at one outside off stump. He takes 1, they won't come back for 2, and David Warner 100 not out in Adelaide, 60 not out in Brisbane, and now 50 not out in Melbourne from 44 deliveries with 3 4s and a 6.
Quality performance, David Warner. It's been a welcome return to Australia for him, and he continues on his merry way. He's absolutely put Sri Lanka to the sword in this T20, as he brings up 2,000 runs as well in international T20. So, good night for Davey Warner.
Sandakan bowls again, and Turner caresses him down the ground to Malinga at long off. They take a single, and after 16 overs, on the BizCover scoreboard, Australia's reached 3 for 132.
If you're looking for a ute that's built tougher than a $2 steak, built smarter than an encyclopedia, and built more secure than a Russian hacker's password, then you need a ute that's built like a BT-50. Mazda BT50 features a bold front-end design, intelligent tech like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus towing up to 3.5 tonnes. Make sure it's built like a BT50. Drive Mazda BT50 at your Mazda dealer today.
3 for 132. 11 runs required from Australia. Lasith Malinga about to bowl his fourth and final over. Has the excellent figures of 1 for 16. His first ball full and straight. Turner drives gently down the ground, slightly on the onside, and they trot through for 1. Turner moves to 20 from 12. Warner has 50 from 44.
Well, they're doing it easy now, aren't they? And get the job done pretty soon. Lasith Malinga's been pretty good tonight. It's been straight. Lots of changes of pace.
Jim once more, and Warner drops it away on the offside with soft hands, and they take a single as the ball rolls out towards cover. 3 for 134.
Any word on the crowd tonight?
No, a figure hasn't been posted. You would think from our earlier assumptions that it's somewhere between 25 and 30,000. Hopefully we do get an official attendance on one of the big video screens before the night is out. Malinga in again, and Turner drives once more. No power in the shot. It rolls down to long on. Bit of foxing from David Warner. There you go. We've just been handed it now.
Oh, there you go. On cue.
And we can say we weren't making that up. Somewhere between 25 and 30,000.
Yep.
28,568.
Not bad. Well done, Victorians. Big Sri Lankan contingent here that live in Melbourne. They've come out to watch their team. They've loved it. It's been a good quality game, actually. They've played a lot better tonight. Still going to look on the scoreboard like it's an easy win for Australia, but it certainly wasn't that tonight.
Malinga in bouncer, and called it wide as well. Warner collapsed the back knee, didn't attempt a hook or a pull shot. Too high, says Blocker Wilson.
If you dissect this game for them, you know, they were 15-20 short with the bat when they should have gone harder at the back end. And that's probably the difference there. And then their half chances. 2 or 3 drop catches, missed run-out opportunities. So, probably only themselves to blame a little bit, Odgie, tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Been pretty competitive.
Halfway through the 7/8. 3 for 136. Malinga in again, and right up in the block hole, sliced behind point by Warner. This time they want to take on Pradeep out in the deep, and they do safely get back for 2.
Well, one thing they may have to do is look at how they're going to contain the 1s and 2s in the field, the Sri Lankans, when they come back for the World Cup or qualifiers or whatever program they have to go through.
That's the problem going back to an Angelo Matthews and TP and that. The grounds are big. Their skill level's probably not where they'd like it to be, so they probably have to a little bit, don't they? Still got to make a few more runs, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
If you're not making runs, you know, you still got to have guys that can get your totals.
Malinga to Warner, slow Yorker. Actually a low full toss in the end off the toe of the bat from Warner. It trickles out to cover, and there's no run. Tonight's crowd actually almost, well, just eclipses the combined attendance from games 1 and 2. Brisbane and Adelaide combined for 28,254, and there's 28,568 in the house tonight.
Yeah, Crew Australia will be happy with that, won't they? MCC will be happy, everyone will be happy.
I think so.
It's a good crowd.
5 needed from 19. Malinga to Warner. He struck on the pad. There might have been a little inside edge. Warner wants to come back for the second, and they safely make it again. And it's 2 leg buys. Over is called. 17 have been completed. BizCover scoreboard. Australia 3 for 140.
How are our kids going to afford a place in Sydney?
Well, they won't be able to. That's the problem. But I've got an idea. Why don't we buy a place in Brisbane? Help them get a foot in the door.
Okay, so we buy in Brisbane now.
Or help them buy.
And with rental returns and
investment.
Aha. And Brisbane is still affordable.
Helping the kids get into property is Sydney beyond the budget. Invest in Brisbane. Now that's a great idea. Visit brisbaneinvest.com.au.
3 runs needed for Australia to win this series 3-0. Lasith Malinga bowled out. The Sri Lankan skipper 4 overs, 1 for 22. 12 of his 24 deliveries were dots. He is a master of his craft and has bowled very well again tonight. Sandakan has also bowled out from the previous over, 4 overs, none for 25. So Nuwan Pradeep will bowl the 18th over, which should be the last of the match from the southern stand end, unless he can produce 6 deliveries like that. Bang on target first ball, and Turner prods forward and defends back down the line to the bowler.
If he bowls 6 like that, one of them's going to travel. Fields up. If he bowls 6 deliberate balls like that, I think he's just waiting for one that he can go after.
And it's been a nice little cameo from Ashton Turner. 21 from 14. Pradeep in again, and it's flicked off the pads down to fine leg by Turner. Fielding done down there by Rajapaksa. Keeps it to 1-3 for 141.
So we're about right, aren't we, Hodgie? 20 short with the bat. It's been a good performance, those half chances. Even with the half chances, they're still going to lose comfortably, but it's been a better performance, something to work with as such. Got to get a bit of confidence, don't they, the young kids? You know, that back end when they all of a sudden hit Stark for, I think, about 15 or 16 off the over, they went then. It was probably 2 overs too late.
2 needed as Pradeep bowls again, and that is a good Yorker. Warner has to clamp down on it, inspects the toe of the bat immediately as it wobbled out to a straightish mid-wicket. And it's 2 from 15.
Well, hopefully he gets the job done here, Davey, and doesn't expose Ashton Turner to any more balls to face. Fields up, you're on 50, just pump it into the stands.
Pradeep bowls again, a slow full toss down the leg side. Warner crunches it behind square. It's another boundary. It's the winning runs. David Warner remains not out for the 3rd game in a row. He reaches 57. He is clearly going to be the player of the series, and Australia has beaten Sri Lanka 3 games to zip.
Well, too good when they all ran the ground, but much better batting and bowling performance by Sri Lanka. One thing though, the fielding's certainly got to improve. A couple of half chances. Lasith Malinga fought really hard today as captain. They gave themselves a little bit to do, obviously 20 short with the bat. They got to 160. The young guys just got to understand they've got to take the game on in this format. Don't be afraid to fail, and that's probably the lessons learned for this tour for them. But certainly a much improved performance with the bat for Sri Lanka tonight. Their highest score of the series so far, even though we still think it's 20 short. With the ball, for example, I thought they were pretty good early. Kumara's got something to work with. I can't believe he ended up going for 49, but he was one in the express pace. Malinga was still got it. Their spin weren't as effective in this series because they didn't get early wickets. Dropped some catches at vital stages in the first 6 overs. Turner for Australia, good to see him finish. David Warner was the superstar of the series. Not out, over 200 runs and really controlled the 3-match series. But all in all, Australia will be very pleased. A little bit disappointed by Sri Lanka, but the last game was a lot better.
Absolutely, Buff. Yeah, I think it was a quality performance from Australia. I think Aaron Finch set the tone early at Adelaide, and I think the bowling unit for Australia was exceptional. Cummings in particular, Kane Richardson did his job with the ball and picked up a couple of wickets today. He's been good. The spinning unit of Agar and Zampa stood up, but all in all, it was a batting unit which was impressive. Finch at the top, David Warner at the top, who's just dominated. Hasn't even been out for the series, and little cameos here and there. And don't forget Glenn Maxwell, who played a great hand at Adelaide. So good little warm up, good little size up for the Sri Lankans as well. They've improved, and that's all you can do, I guess, going through a tournament. And they'll find little areas of where they can improve. And as a young team, they'll certainly get there.
With their side Australia have put out, you think they can win the World Cup here in Australia with that?
If Glenn Maxwell can find his way back into the hopefully he gets well. I think they've certainly got A and B some serious firepower. job done as well.
Yeah, I don't think the bowling's going to be an issue. Out and lose a couple of wickets early, how the middle order goes. And, you have, for example, you got Maxwell, and then Smith will have to control the innings. Would they be able to make enough Turner shows he can go at the back end? But their bowling attack and fielding looks great as a setup.
Look, I guess that they've probably set it up to probably maximise out at 175, 180. We saw them make 240.
That was against some rubbish bowling.
Absolute junk. And I think that if you set up to go about your cricket that way and say, right, our bowling attack should be able to get the job done. So that's how probably Justin set up, the Perth franchise, the Scorchers. This is the first time we've seen Stark, Cummings play T20s for a while and, get a real core bowling group together.
And Richardson, he was pretty good, wasn't he?
He was outstanding, yeah.
Very good today. He got his rewards over the first two games. Didn't get a wicket, but tonight he bowled beautifully, so really pleased with him. Didn't get a wicket. Bigger outfield, obviously. Wicket didn't spin, but very good.
So we will be taking presentation. I was just doing the numbers then for David Warner for the series. He's clearly going to be named the player of the series. And more than likely he'll be player of the match tonight in Game 3. So across the 3 games in Adelaide, Brisbane and Melbourne, hasn't been dismissed. The 217 runs have come from 147 balls, and he struck.
Pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? I mean, they're good numbers, especially returning, from England. Fire a shot in the Ashes. In fact, he was well below par, and he certainly struggled there. So, David Warner. Oh, look, he's changed his style as a T20 batter, actually. More conservative at the top and tried to just back end his innings a little bit. In Adelaide, that, his running feature was going to be a feature he's going to. And he's done that, and he was certainly very, very impressive.
Match and post-series review with thanks to the Ram Trucks. 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast. Go to ramtrucks.com. I was coming on board with Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket, and the first component has been completed. Australia 3-0 series victors. 8 hours time, another 3-match series against Pakistan in Sydney on Sunday afternoon, in Canberra at the picturesque Manuka Oval, and then in Perth at Optus Stadium. So David Warner also tonight career runs in T20 internationals, which sits at the top of the pile. Format was introduced.
Well, at least he's locked down that spot. We always knew Australia's unbelievable as a test player, and I couldn't believe some of the talk that, I mean, that for me in England, and I said it, Beef, England, we've got to think about him batting down the list and protecting him from new ball a little bit. But after a chance, he's now been on 3 Ashes series, hasn't made 100, so he'd be disappointed with that. That's understandable. Enough. Now people say flat track bullies. Well, that wasn't a flat track tonight. That had some pace in it.
Plenty of bounces.
They could have had him out. They dropped the catch. So for me in Australia, I think he's a lock for the left arm swing bowlers will test him a little bit, as Broad did. But I think his record in Australia's. He's just started the summer as you'd expect David Warner too. They've been really controlled up front. I thought Finch was excellent in Adelaide to set the great for the captain and gives them some confidence. They didn't chop and change the side. Even after they won the series, they went back in the Stanlake out. Where does that leave a Jai Richardson, for example, in the bowling lineup? Because I know Stanlake miss out when it's done, or is Jai Richardson ahead of Kane Richardson? It's a really tight selection battle. He'll be the one.
And a few more anecdotes surrounding the Warner series over the past. Oliver informs us that if he stays not out, which he did, he's the first player to reach 200 runs in a and he's now also the 6th to reach 2,000 runs in T20. Friend, our other great stato mate, Gary Morgan over in the old dart, fired through as well. Australian to do it, the 6th overall, as a big crowd now gathering. For those that know the MCG, you know, the end I'm talking about, because that's where the presentation is about, will be our in charge of the ceremonies down there. And with Aaron Finch and Lasith Malinga, and then David Warner, you would assume the player of the series. That first match, well, all matches of the summer of cricket, and sandwiched in between, tomorrow from Flemington, Derby Day. Brian Martin and Tim Gill bringing you all the colour and excitement, and the voice of Matt Hill.
Going?
Yes, I am popping out there, Book. I'll be one of the great days of the year.
You seeing any races?
4 Group 1s out there tomorrow. Can't wait. In fact, Laurie Colliver's attending his first derby tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. Won't be well up to scratch on Sunday for Fox or Macquarie, will they?
Oh, don't throw him in the deep end. He's a big boy. He can look up. Getting that flight Sunday morning to Sydney.
Yeah, he might not make it.
So we'll just quickly run through the results. Runs 2 for 233, and then restricted Sri Lanka to 9 for 99. That was at the Adelaide Oval last Sunday. Sri Lanka batted first, all out for 117 in 19 overs, and Australia ran down that total with ease, finishing with Warner and Smith making the bulk of the runs, a partnership of 117 after Aaron Finch. MCG, Sri Lanka sent in by Aaron Finch, posted 6 for 142 and a run rate of 7. Australia lost 3 wickets in their run chase, finishing at 3 for 145. Let's now go out into the middle.
Australia series between Australia and Sri Lanka, and a huge congratulations to Australia for the clean sweep, their first bilateral. I'd like to introduce the presentation party. Kevin Roberts, CEO of Cricket Australia, is joined by Peter Schulte, Commercial Director of the Zaides Foundation. The first award is for the Gillette Player of the Match and the Player of the Series, and there's award of this series, David Warner, for his 217 runs and a strike rate of 147. He will come up to receive the Player of the Match award, and then from Peter, the Player of the Series award. Spoken to you a lot lately. Congratulations on all of your performance. What does it mean to you, first series back?
Yeah, look, I think more importantly for us as a team, it's fantastic. On a personal front, it's just good to come out here and churn some runs out, and our bowlers from the second. But yeah, it's good to get out in the middle and hit some out the middle, and hopefully we can keep continuing this form on in summer.
It hasn't been easy the whole way through. You spoke to us in the middle of the game saying that you were getting to fight through that.
It helps when you've only chased a small total. If we're chasing a big total, you've got to probably take a few more risks. But I think just timing, running hard between wickets, I think that makes it more special.
How does it help with form to have back-to-back games as you have?
Yeah, a bit of consistency. Obviously, from here we go to play Pakistan at the SCG. Hopefully we can start well there as well. And as a team and as a collective, I think we're doing fantastic. Well, there's a lot of pace in their attack, facing the new bowlers up front, and hopefully I can just keep trying to hit gaps and not hit fielders.
Congratulations once again. Congratulations to David Warner, player of the match and player of the series. I'd now like to hear from the losing captain and Niroshan Dickwella. Niroshan, everything all right with the captain?
In the dressing room.
And just your reflections on this game today and the overall series.
I think that we didn't keep up. Game one, we didn't perform for our best. So if we don't perform like that to our best, so we'll end up like this.
Lassie, you've mentioned also for the inexperienced guys to kind of get you out here in Australia, especially T20 next year. Do you feel like you've learned a lot from playing over here?
Yeah, definitely we learned a lot. We couldn't even compete to get closer to the Aussies, and we learned a lot, and I think we'll do better in the T20 series.
Some positives?
And Lakshya Sadakan bowled really well throughout the series. Those are a few positives, and fielding was up to our standards, and I think we could do better in the... Actually, we are heading to Pakistan for 2 tests. That's in December.
All the best with those.
Thank you. Cheers.
Niroshan. Reaction from the Sri Lanka camp, and it's now time to hear from the winning captain, Aaron Finch. Congratulations, Aaron. Couldn't have had a better start to the summer.
Yeah, it was nice. It was pretty clinical once we got into a bit of a set up. Both of the last 2 games in particular I thought was outstanding. To restrict Sri Lanka, who are a very dangerous side, to 120 and 140 was exceptional.
Pleased with the way you responded to that?
I think every game it's a different challenge. It's a different surface. They've got some changes each game, so I think it's really important that in terms of your preparation and your mental side of the game as well. So we're good enough to do that, and really pleased to win 3-0.
You played a lot with these guys, a lot of experience together as well. What have you learned about them, though, in this series?
I think that when your back's against the wall, that's up to your experienced players to I think when you've got 2 spinners in your side in Australia, it's probably a little bit it's a bit different for us to have that luxury, and the way that they both bowl throughout the series, I think early wickets is something that we've probably struggled with as well in the past, and for our quicks to be getting 2 or 3 wickets consistently was outstanding.
Was there a strong debate? Just confirm that you would like to keep going with that going forwards?
No, I think it was pretty unanimous when we're thinking about it. Ashton Agar brings such a great package to the table. I mean, his bowling is, as we've can strike him very well, and he's a gun in the field. So as a package, I think that all-rounder spot is a great fit for him.
And what about with the bat? Good to see so many of your players scoring runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Is pretty incredible, and that's what the best players in the world do. Once they get in and they get on top of an attack, they keep it going. So yeah, really proud of the batting group. I'm really proud of everyone, to be fair. We've had a good couple.
I noticed you were struggling with your foot a little bit. How's the toe?
Yeah, it's all right. Anytime you get a Yorker on the foot, it hurts.
Pakistan series. Right, you can go and grab the trophy now from Kevin, and you can invite your team up to join you as well.
Jagua conducts those interviews. Niroshan Dickwella substituting for Lasith Malinga, the Sri Lankan captain, and Australia thrashing Sri Lanka in Adelaide and Brisbane. Much more competitive showing by the tourists tonight. with 14 balls to spare. Sri Lanka 6 for 142 in reply. Australia 3 for 145. And David Warner, a unanimous choice. 7 not out. Ashton Turner on 22. Warner for the series, 217 runs from 147 balls faced and not dismissed in any game. We will take a break. On the other side of the break, we'll begin to wrap up from the MCG and look ahead to Sunday's first game against Pakistan, Sunday afternoon at the Sydney Cricket Ground. For McDonald's and BizCover, you're listening to Macquarie Sport.
If something happens to my home or my stuff, I might need to rebuild or find the cash to replace it all.
Don't worry, Westpac Home Insurance can help get you back on track if the unexpected happens. And you can save up to 25% when you get a quote and buy a policy online. Simply get started. Insurance issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. The bank only distributes the insurance. Read the PDS to see if this insurance is right for you.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free trade from only $19,990. That's right, a petrol dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 driveway. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to Woody. Great Wall Motors AU for T's and C's.
Another all sports, all time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.